runners. There's 6 players on the edge of the area to aim for. One is Smalling! Unbelievable scenes at the Etihad Stadium. It's 3-2 to Manchester United.
Talk Sports Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
We are joined on the preview show to talk about what has happened at the top of the table in the last few days by our former Premier League winger, Matthew Etherington. Adrian Clark's with us. Chris Iwelumo, fresh from the gym.
Subscribe to the podcast today at talksport.com and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
Oxlade-Chamberlain goes down, but he still finds Salah, who makes it 2 to Liverpool. One chance, one goal. Number 20 for the Egyptian magician.
Listen to the show on talksport.com.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Fulham against Watford from Craven Cottage. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me, the former West Ham, Watford and Leicester City striker, David Connolly. This is Premier League Live. Grey skies above us on the banks of the Thames in West London. Really interesting match in prospect as the fans just make their way into the stadium around us. Always a hotbed of an atmosphere, starved of Premier League football for a few seasons after it had become very much a customed affair. The Cottagers faithful hoping to dine out. Could yet be a successful season. Plenty of money spent, of course, over the course of the summer on new faces. Loads of changes to Fulham. Maybe too many. They've just tweaked back to 1 or 2 of the tried and trusted that got them up from the Championship over recent weeks. We'll see if that momentum can end up coming to some form of fruition. So Fulham lining up with 2 changes to the side that lost to Manchester City last time out, with Marcus Bettinelli in goal. The changes are at the back, where Timothy Fosu-Mensah and Callum Chambers come in to join Alfie Mawson and Ryan Sessegnon. 3 in midfield are Jean-Michel Seri, Scott McDonald and Stefan Johansson. It's Luciano Vietto, Andre Schürrle, both supporting Alexandra Mitrovic up front, the club's top scorer with 4 goals this season already, the big powerful Serb. On the bench, Dennis Adoy, Fly Aiti, Maxime Lemachin, Cyrus Christie, Sergio Rico, Zamba Anguissa and Abubakar Kamara. Adoy and Christie, the 2 changes to the side. As for Watford, unchanged for the 6th consecutive game. All 6 matches in the Premier League have had the same 11. It's Ben Foster in goal under Javi Gracia, Daryl Janmaat, Craig Cathcart, Christian Kabasele and Jose Halavas at the back, Abdoulaye Doucouré, Etienne Capoue and Will Hughes in midfield, Alberto Pereira, Andre Gray and Troy Deeney, the 3 up front. They've scored 8 goals between them in all competitions this campaign already. The subs for the Golden Boys: Aurelio Gomez, Adrian Mariappa, Isaac Success, Adam Messina, Ken Sema, Nathaniel Chaloba and Kiko Femenia. Our referee this afternoon is Martin Atkinson. We should say as well, at TalkSport Live, please have your say on social media. Drop us a tweet. I think the game's going to go, talking points at the match, anything that floats your boat. We can take exception, umbrage, or you agree with anything that David Connolly and I say in commentary. Please let us know. We'll read out the best tweets over the course of the game. David, just give me a quick rundown before we kick off on how you think this match will pan out and why.
Well, look, Fulham have got the worst defensive record for all their possession play, and they've got loads of talented boys going forward. Their defence is much changed from last season. I think it's always difficult to embed, especially in pre-season. A lot of loanees. Watford, in contrast, actually are the polar opposite. Defensively, really, really sound. Able to nick some goals going up top. This will be a tight affair, maybe 1 or 2 goals in it.
We've heard referee Atkinson's whistle, and we are underway for the first match of match week 6 in the Premier League. Fulham in their traditional white and black, mostly white with a little bit of black trim on the shirts and black shorts with white socks. And Watford in their change kits, it's kind of a mid-green with a slightly more luminous green stripe across the top of the shirts and the side of the shorts. And they're kicking from right to left from our commentary vantage point on Premier League Live, with Fulham, the home team, going from left to right. Ben Foster, the Watford goalkeeper, left-footed, belting one downfield under a little bit of pressure from the Fulham strike force. Good header forward from Troy Deeney, and it's dealt with by the Fulham central defence. Nice little interception. Scott McDonald helping out from midfield as well. And Marcus Bettinelli, the Fulham keeper, gets his first touch of the ball, boots it long, and in the end the ball's headed out for a Watford throw.
Well, you can see from the first couple of minutes, actually opening exchanges, that Watford aren't afraid to go long. In Deeney and Gray, they've got a front 2 that will trouble any 2 centre-halves, and especially Chambers and Mawson, who won't like it aerially. A lot of pace and power up top for Watford. Interesting how those 2 centre-halves cope with that today.
The rain is actually coming down more and more as well. It's really starting to come down in droves, and we can see it just to our right as well. And That's the Johnny Haynes stand as well. It really is starting to come down pretty heavily as Watford try and create the first opportunity of the game. It's a little 1-2 and the ball falls, and the ball's already in the back of the net. Andre Gray with his third of the season. Fulham switching off, losing possession. Will Hughes reacts quickly, slides the ball through to Andre Gray, and it's a great measured finish, low to the right of Marcus Bettinelli into the net. What an amazing start. 1 minute and 45 on the clock. Fulham 0, Watford 1.
Well, we spoke about how those centre-halves will deal with any long aerial balls. That time it was a throw in. Alfie Mawson with a terrible header. Didn't quite clear it. Rebounds to Will Hughes. A lovely little set. Here's the throw from Hollebass. We know he's got a long throw. Look, 2 headers. Could have cleared it twice there, Fulham. They kept those 2 centre-halves. Are they going to be able to handle those 2 front 2? The ball's in the box, the ball's in the air, and already you can see it after 2 minutes they can't.
To make that 9 between the 3-pronged strike force of Watford this season. Gray joins Pereira and Deeney on 3 for the season already. Andre Gray, after I think a lot of people would say flattering to deceive a bit in recent years, seems to be in a real rich vein of form and seems to have a lot more confidence about his game this season.
Well, he does. Look, here we go, let's just see this attack. Another long ball they quite deal with well. They didn't look comfortable there, Fulham, but going back to Gray, look, if you simplify his game, I think where he struggled at times, if he's playing up there alone and he's meant to hold the ball up, bring others into play, that's not his game. Get him in the box, play him in a front 2, just let him focus on finishing. I think he's a really, really good front man.
Andre Gray with the goal. If you're just joining us on Premier League Live, it's great to have your company wherever you're listening around the world. Welcome to Fulham, where the home team trail Watford already by 1-0. We mentioned Fulham's rather iffy defensive record since their return to the top flight, the worst defensive record in the league. And you know what, in their last 9 Premier League games across the last time they were up into this, they've conceded, David, at least 2 goals in every single one of those matches, and that's equalled an infamous top flight club record from 1951. That's a major concern.
It is, but look, from the first couple of seconds, Hollebass, he didn't take any chances. He just booted it and said, go on then, Mawson and Chambers, you go and clear that and deal with that. And he couldn't. They got a long throw. They put it on Chambers and Mawson. They couldn't deal with it. And so you can tell that Watford realised that, you know what, we can get out of these 2 centre-halves.
Well, Mawson, excellent for Swansea last season. Chambers, I've watched very closely at Arsenal, a talented player. But as a combo, maybe there's just that lack of experience and maybe a little bit of a lack of leadership. I wonder if either would be good alongside a really established, absolutely top draw centre-half, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
I'm not sure either are the commanding one who will take charge, but look, no doubt they're excellent on the ball, we know that, but against a side like Watford, you know, you've got to be able to deal with the aerial challenge, and they can't.
Watford hassling and harrying and really pressing Fulham as well, and Scott McDonald and Stefan Johansson tried to exchange a couple of passes there, and Watford were all over them, the ball deflecting out in the end for a throw. And again, it is Watford just so quick to the loose ball. We know that Abdoulaye Doucouré is a fine playmaker and a fine player just to sit in front of the back four. He's already to the fore with a couple of strong interceptions. In the end, Watford lose out on this occasion. Fulham try and build from halfway, but they're looking a bit jittery and they're lacking ideas. They're already gesticulating to each other about movement.
Well, you can see as soon as the ball went into Mitrovic, Watford were all over him. Doucouré, Capoue, knowing they've got to win that first one. Mitrovic, he's the muscle up there for Fulham, but if they can win that first one, they've got a real chance, Watford, to then go and attack.
First decent touch really from Fulham in an attacking sense. It was Jean-Michel Seri, the quality player from Nice, out to the left-hand side to Sessegnon, who tried to just thread a ball through. Sessegnon's pass was easily read. Ball flicked forward, and Watford again trying to make something happen on the counter-attack. There's such threat in the air, isn't there? And Fulham do look rattled. Nasty tackle coming in as well. Fossi and Mensah, I think, got a bit of the ball, but they got a chunk of the man as well. Roberto Pereira sent spiralling into the air. Well,
they got away with this, Fulham, because look, Foster takes no chances. He knows he can kick it long. That time Deeney took control. This is my ball. Went up in the air again, won that first challenge, and had Gray to spin in behind. They're a bit too open here, Fulham. The 2 fullbacks, obviously when they attack, they're very, very wide, but because Watford have got a front 2, it means the 2 centre-halves are really isolated. They've got to be careful here, Fulham. They'll be punished otherwise.
So it's a Watford free kick. It's going to be about midway inside the Fulham half on the near stand side from our commentary vantage point. It's going to be swung in by Jose Hollebass, and a little bit of toing and throwing and shoving at the far post. The referee just has a little word with 2 or 3 players involved, and play now will get back underway. The free kick is swung in. It's a decent looking delivery, and in the end, no chances from Fulham. They head it behind. Alfie Mawson concedes the corner.
Well, it's a big hole to hit into their really high line from Fulham. An outswing, a good delivery from Watford. As you say, no chances from Mawson. Dealt with that one comfortably enough though.
Well, Holebas took the free kick, and it's going to be Jose Holebas, the Greek, who goes across to take the corner as well. First corner of the game. Left-footed, the left-back, who's already scored once this season. We'll see if he can wreak some further havoc from a Fulham point of view. The Cottagers a goal down on Premier League Live, 7 minutes in. Watford corner. Low delivery, slightly mishit, but the clearance was also mishit from Stefan Johansson. Now for another corner. Watford perhaps get an undeserved second bite at the cherry.
Absolutely, wasn't a great delivery. I know Holebas, look, it's a tight. If you look where the corner flag is, you've only got about 2 yards till you go actually onto the concrete. Right by the stand. I don't think it's giving him the best run up to get this ball in, but look, if he puts it in the air, they've got a real chance, because I think they've definitely got a height advantage here, Watford.
Pereira comes near as an alternative option. In the end, Janmat takes it. It's flicked on. Not the worst in moves actually in the end. Craig Cathcart, but Watford don't deliver. Fulham try to counter-attack, and for the first proper time in the game, we see Fulham on the ball with Andres Schürrle. A lovely ball over the top. It's chested down. Alexander Mitrovic and Luciano Vietto are both screaming for it. Vietto got it and wasn't too far away from getting a shot away.
Yeah, super bit of skill from Schürrle. Kept it alive. Nice little turn and spin. Picked out Vietto. Better touch though on his chest. It just skidded off the turf. Could have kept that touch a little bit closer, it would have been in.
First bit of real positivity from Fulham. A goal down. They're just lacking in ideas and pegged back for much of this game. They are looking improved now though, the Cottagers. This is much more like it. Mitrovic though just missed kicks and is dispossessed. Play nicely broken up by Watford. The Golden Boys, having been briefly on the back foot, come forward once more. Long crossfield pass is overhit, but it's well controlled regardless from Roberto Pereira, the tricky Argentinian, twisting and turning on the near side edge of the penalty area. Fossa Mensah's up against him. Seri comes back to try and help, but Decore with an intelligent crossfield pass. Janmat's delivery is not bad. Mawson's clearance wasn't the best, but it falls to another Fulham shirt in the form of Seri. And here comes Fulham FC again. Andres Schürrle, the German international, on loan from Borussia Dortmund. Out to the left-hand side to Luciano Vietto, and Vietto's cross just asked too much of Mitrovic.
There's a poor ball in the end, but going back to Mawson, his clearance wasn't very convincing, was it? Sort of dangled the leg, cleared to the edge of the box. They got away with it, Fulham. You can see though, Watford fancy this. They know that on the turnover, those two fullbacks from Fulham are so high. The space is out wide. Look, Pereira, you've got to keep him going down the line. You allow him to come in field, he'll cause maximum damage.
Well, Fulham deal better with the ball in the air this time. Seri finds himself closely shackled by two Watford players. Pressure then on Scott McDonald as well, but the Scottish player manages to get the ball back to his goalkeeper Marcus Bettinelli. The likes of McDonald, Johansson and Bettinelli, some of those key players that were big parts of the Championship promotion team, and as I mentioned in the build-up to the game, one or two of those players are just starting to come back into the team after being overlooked for the first couple of games.
Yeah, I'm sure as well, when you do get promoted, you are so important for this side. You want to get that opportunity in the Premier League, but I've looked at McDonald twice now. He's got the ball, he's gone straight back to the goalkeeper. Now ideally, look, you're 1-0 down, you're at home, just take a few chances, turn, spin and try and play forward. Here's this goal again. Look, simple throw. Mawson just didn't deal with it. They kept it alive. That's what's good about Watford's formation. They got Hughes really close and Pereira really close to the front two. Kept it alive. Lovely little ball to Gray and a super side foot finish.
Yeah, Callum Chambers almost got it clear, and it just ricocheted, fell back to Hughes, and as we mentioned, that crucial ball through to Gray is what just opened up the space. Bettinelli coming out to try and close down the angle, but the Fulham keeper very exposed and with no chance. That is what has made it, ladies and gentlemen. Fulham 0, Watford 1, 10 minutes played. And it's brilliant to have your company on Premier League Live. Keep your tweets coming in at TalkSport Live. Matt Crex has tweeted in, enjoying the fact that Watford are ahead. And wherever you're listening from, I'd love to have your thoughts on this game. Can Watford make it 5 wins from 6 and continue their best ever start to a Premier League campaign? And can Fulham stem the bleed? It's been a stop and start season so far. They're hemorrhaging goals, 13 now in 5 and a bit games. What are your thoughts on whether Fulham can turn this around? Lovely touch again from Abdoulaye Decore, such a talented player. Effortlessly plays it out to the right hand side to the Dutchman, the former Newcastle player Daryl Janmat, inside again to Decore. It falls to Will Hughes slightly fortuitously. Hughes twisting and turning, beats McDonald, crosses, poked it, loose ball just over the head of Troy Deeney. A tiny deflection en route from Callum Chambers stopped it falling to Deeney. Decore back to Troy Deeney, ball just stuck under his feet on the edge of the penalty area. Jean-Michel Sierry in the end gets it clear for Fulham. They were riding their luck and were stretched for a second, but now the Cottagers counter-attack. Here's Vietto, this is great football, chance for the equaliser. Luciano Vietto, the rebound, it's chipped over, oh, and it's just wide. side. Fulham so close to the equaliser. Vieto, I think, shouldn't have gone for the second shot. 3 Fulham players screaming for the ball to be squared. He went for it, and it was just wide.
Well, this is a really good game. Watford actually could have scored themselves, but Fulham then break away. Super ball again from Schürrle into Vieto. I think he's going to score here. 1v1 with Foster, stands up really, really well, but does Kabasele? I'm not sure if he just edges Mitrovic out the way there, but Vieto, you fancy, look, could he have dinked that over Foster? In the end, it's a really, really good save. Kabasele, I think, just does enough. I don't think it's a foul, but he just edges out Mitrovic here.
You've got Johansson screaming for the ball and Schürrle screaming for the ball, just coming in from the left. I just wonder whether perhaps a more measured approach on the rebound to square it might have been the best option, but I appreciate it's easier said than done when you're in the heat of battle and you're trying to score. I
mean, I know what he was thinking. It was almost, what was that goal where, let's just see this here, that little turn and spin right from the byline. It's a difficult finish, but look, he's not that close to it. It's just a funny sort of angle. He just didn't get enough whip on the ball.
So Fulham 0, Watford 1. Fulham mightily close to the equaliser. Here come Watford at the other end again. It's a powerful cross shot and the ball isn't cleared by Callum Chambers. Troy Deeney tries to get a shot in. It's eventually scrambled behind by Fulham for a corner, and again Andre Gray up there and making a nuisance of himself with the initial shot set up by guess who? Will Hughes.
Yeah, brilliant play again from Watford. They look so bright going forward. You fancy there's going to be more goals in this game, that's for sure.
Another corner to Watford. Wonder whether or not they can double their advantage. They've been excellent for the majority of this game so far. Andy Grazia's Hornets almost conceded at the other end a moment ago in the rain. It's been a brilliant match so far. Very, very interesting. Fulham 0, Watford 1, 13 on the clock on Premier League Live. As the corner is swung, and it's a brilliant corner. How on earth did that not go in? Completely unmarked was Christian Kabasele, and the Belgian headed toward goal. It smacked off a player on the line, came back to Kabasele, rebounded off him, and somehow didn't go in. I'm not sure who it hit, and I'm pretty sure whoever it did hit didn't know anything about it.
Well, to me, that's come off his teammate Gray. It's a great ball in from Holebas, who, as we know, has got super delivery. Here he goes, he whips it in this time. Great purchase on it. Kabasele gets through. Oh, it might have come off Sessegnon, actually.
The Sessegnon, Gray and Bettinelli all there. I think it hit Sessegnon.
Yeah, on the back. Should have scored. That would have been 2-0. What a delivery, though, from Holebas.
Nobody whatsoever marking Kabasele. That's going to be a huge concern for Fulham.
Well, we did speak at the start. For me, there's a total mismatch here, Watford, with their aerial, supremacy. They're a really big side. You look at them, they're all 6 foot plus. There aren't many that sort of aren't on that sort of level. So Fulham have got all to do here. Need to stop giving away free kicks, set pieces, corners.
Better header this time from Sessegnon, and just about Fulham managed to keep their attack going through Vieto, but again it's all slightly rickety harum-scarum stuff, and it doesn't take much for Watford to win the ball back, as they do, and they come forward this time through Roberto Pereira to Will Hughes, who thought about a shot, but the offside flag is up.
What I really like about Watford, yes, they've got Deeney and Gray, but Hughes and Pereira, they're always up in contact, playing close to them. And Doucouré, it seems like Capoue is the one that's sitting in front of the back four. And Doucouré, here he is, he's got that licence just to play a little bit further forward in a 4-4-2. I really like how they've set up here today, Watford.
Matt Rex has tweeted again saying, watch out what Seri could do in the game today. Jean-Michel Seri is obviously a very talented player, but you're one talented player in a little bit of a battle, aren't you? And it'll be intriguing to see how much his quality can really shine in a game like this in these conditions as well.
Well, look, he loves to get on the ball. He's not the tallest, he's not the most physical, but he'll get the team playing. Obviously, a couple of players arguably could have gone to Barcelona, couldn't he, before he ended up here.
Another of his teammates in midfield, Stefan Johansson, commits the foul, just easing a Watford player off the ball in front of our vantage point here on Premier League Live, and Watford as a result have another free kick.
Oh, we just spoke about it. They can't keep giving away free kicks, fouls, set pieces. Here's another ball. Holebas with his delivery is going to really put this Fulham defence under pressure.
It's another dangerous looking delivery, and Bettinelli this time with a very, very good punch clear. They attempt the shot from distance to loop back over the goalkeeper. Doucouré with the effort. It's high and wide of goal. This time Bettinelli at least had the chance to get to that ball. Probably if it had been a foot or two closer to the attackers, it may have been more dangerous.
Absolutely. Here's his chance from Vieto, though. I don't think Kabasele did too much on Mitrovic. He just eased him out.
As I say, it's these players just to our left, though, who are calling for the ball. Johansson, who was screaming for it on the near side.
Well, Foster done what he could do, didn't he? Stood up well, didn't go to ground.
That was by far and away Fulham's best chance of the game. but they still trail Watford by 1-0. And it's the first of match week 6. A horrendous effort, a horrendous mistake, and somehow Watford don't double their advantage. What was Alfie Mawson thinking there? Complete miskick, complete miscontrol. Well done, Bettinelli. And Fulham somehow don't concede a second. That was awful.
Well, Mawson looks rattled here. Another long ball though from Janmaat in behind. Gray reads it. Mawson again. How many times have I said have they gone back to the goalkeeper? McDonald too often. It's in their DNA, Fulham, that they want to build from the back, so they're too readily looking to go back to their goalkeeper. He's just got to head that clear, Mawson.
It's a great save from Bettinelli, because he would have not expected that to happen. As you say, Gray gambled on Mawson not dealing with the ball through. Shot was powerful, it was right on target, and Bettinelli came out and then stuck out a big left leg. Fair play to him. Marcus Bettinelli, of course, into the England squad of late. Watford corner swung in again. And this time, guess who? Alexander Mitrovic is back, helping out his defenders, and the striker shows how it should be done. Watford, though, win the ball back. Fulham give it away again through serie of ball players. And again, Andre Gray, right on the edge of it all, just snaffling up the action. Pretty close again, David, to another goal. 1 goal for Gray, and 2 more opportunities. In the end, the free kick goes Fulham's way on this occasion.
Well, I just look at how Fulham are playing, and I am a fan of it, but there is this trend to always go back to the goalkeeper and build, and I think they'd be better actually just going forward. They're too pragmatic at times. McDonald too often, that time Mawson too willing to go back to the goalkeeper and build. I think he's just got to do the simple thing, clear it, play forward.
Etienne Capoue on the ball for Watford, voiced by the way of David Connolly, the former Republic of Ireland. Leicester, Southampton, Watford, West Ham Wigan striker alongside me. Craig Cathcart, the Northern Irishman, who's been such a steadying influence since his return from long-term injury for this season at the back. Good move. Will Hughes on the ball. Janmaat, first-time delivery, right-footed from the Dutchman, overhit in the slippery conditions, and one of the first few times in the game that Watford's delivery from out wide hasn't been spot on.
Well, he's taken the cross on the run there. It's a difficult skill. The best player I've seen in the Premier League is Mendy, crossing on the run. That means, without taking a touch. That time, Janmaat decided, look, I'm going to put this in first time. Arguably, maybe could have taken a touch in these conditions. Difficult skill, that, crossing on the run.
Fulham 0, Watford 1. And don't forget, the best way to look ahead to a Premier League weekend is to subscribe to the TalkSport Premier League Preview Show podcast, out every Thursday. Do that every Thursday when the Premier League show podcast comes out. I recommend that you do.
Well, you do, because I'm on it sometimes, so yeah.
I was on it once.
Not again? That's a bad sign. Oh, you're too expensive, probably. Yeah.
Too busy, mate, too busy. Paul thumped forward by Troy Deeney, just on the edge of the D. No major joy there from a Watford point of view. Fulham get the ball back through Ryan Sessegnon. Sessegnon tries to thread a ball past Will Hughes. It's deflected off Hughes and out for a throw. We just don't get to see anything of Sessegnon at his best, do we, when he's pinned back, kind of fighting tooth and nail as a left back. We'll come back to that in a second, because Fulham have suddenly created a little something out of nothing at least. A little rickety moment at the back this time for Watford through Jose Holebas, and the Hornets get away with it.
Yeah, a few things we spoke about before the game in terms of Sessegnon's positioning, playing left back today. I think he's much better playing further forward. Defensively, I think he still needs work, defending that back post area. He's too willing to get forward, leaves gaps in behind, especially against his 4-4-2, which Watford will exploit today, I'm sure.
Well, a relatively poor header from Mawson, which in the end falls to Hughes, who plays a little 1-2 with Janmaat. Will Hughes is not the biggest player, we can safely say, up against Scott McDonald. McDonald easily just shoulders him out the way on that particular occasion for Fulham.
Not for the first time, Janmaat's got it wrong there. This time he should just deliver the ball. He's got the front two in the box. They're both saying with their hands up, look, just put it in. He tries a little clever pass to Hughes. It wasn't on. When you've got Gray and Deeney, just put the ball in there, leave it in there, let them attack it.
20 minutes on the clock, Fulham 0, Watford 1. And again, Fulham just rushed and hassled and harried by Watford, and the clearance is straight out of play.
Well, you can hear the crowd whistling. I have seen this sometimes at Craven Cottage. The crowd can get on their backs when they do go back and try and play out, and they're under pressure. They keep doing it, but that's the Jokanovic way. He won't change for anyone.
It can be a wonderful kind of hotbed and real positive atmosphere, can't it, when Fulham are playing well, when they're either on top in games or at least very competitive and very flowing and attacking. But as you said, that would be a low by any means, Fulham. They can also get frustrated, which can double as a little bit of a negative, and maybe this is a good example of that in this particular game. Ryan Sessegnon did well briefly there. In the end, Sessegnon up against Will Hughes. That's becoming an intriguing head-to-head battle on the far side. Sessegnon beat his man, and the decision goes Fulham's way. They try to build. Andre Schürrle has switched flanks for a moment. The German international, formerly of course down the road at Chelsea, plays the ball cross field. We have a little look at Timothy Fosu-Mensah, the man on loan from Manchester United, the Dutch right back. He now runs at Jose Holebas. This is a little bit better. Fulham using a bit of width to their game. We've not seen a huge amount of that in the game so far. Jean-Michel Seri back out to Schürrle, who's hugging the far touchline. Schürrle's delivery is good. Mitrovic's header is just over the bar in the end from Luciano Vietto.
Yeah, brilliant ball in from Schürrle. Out on the left this time, so you know that he is going to look to duck back inside. A great ball in, just shifts it to the side. Brilliant ball. Cathcart gets up, just does enough to clear.
Yeah, it came off Craig Cathcart. You're absolutely spot on. So Cathcart getting there in between the two Fulham strikers, and it means that Watford have conceded a corner. And now we can see Ryan Sessegnon just to the right of our vantage point here on Premier League Live. He, in an attacking sense, will now bend this corner in. Fulham's first corner of the game. Watford have had 4 in the game already, and Alexander Mitrovic saying to referee Atkinson that he's being tugged and pulled, I think, by Christian Kabasele.
Well, we've seen that in the other half, actually, from an attacking sense. But yes, Kabasele got his arms. He knows he can't let Mitrovic go. To me, he's gone to ground there far too easy. But you can see the mismatch here, Fulham. What they've decided to bring Sessegnon and Seri out. What that does, it has to drag 2 Watford players out short. So already Watford are down. Hughes is not that big, but still, and another one. That's 2 players out of that danger zone. They know Fulham. They're not big enough here. How can they combat this Watford height?
And Mitrovic is trying to get into the referee's head, isn't he, and just imply and show that maybe there is a tugging issue surrounding Kabasele, which could serve him well later in the game. Sessegnon's delivery, it's not a bad effort, it's just over the head of Alexander Mitrovic, who rose to try and put a bullet header in, but couldn't quite get there. Now Watford try to counter-attack, and they get the throw and they gain some decent yardage down that far side.
Well, what Gray provides as well that maybe Deeney doesn't is that pace. So look, they're defending a corner, but they know if they win it, they can release Gray. He's got real speed. And look where they are now in the other half with the throw-in.
Wyke Franklin Jr. has tweeted in at TalkSport Live. Keep your tweets coming in. This is an exciting game so far. It's end-to-end action, and Wyke, you're absolutely spot on. It's been really good despite the weather as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the rain, you ask any player, they want to play when it's zippy, the surface is quick. That's how it's proven today. It's been a really good affair so far.
Remember, it's 15th against 4th in the table. Watford could go joint top on points, having played a game more than Chelsea and Liverpool for a few hours at least if they get the job done, and they are leading at the moment. Better play though from Fulham. Vietto, ball stepped over as far as Mitrovic, who's twisting and turning 10 yards out. The big serve tries to get a shot away right-footed. Watford stand their ground at the back and make the necessary block. Mitrovic though a threat, and that's got the crowd going. That was much more like it from Fulham, who come again down the far side. 2 men on Andre Schürrle, who controls it well. Finds Seri to Johansson. Now to this near stand side where there's a bit of space for Timothy Fosu-Mensah to come forward. Back inside to Luciano Vietto, the Argentinian, becoming a more involved character as the game goes on. The cross from Fosu-Mensah, really, really poor, and straight over Ben Foster's head and out of play.
Yeah, it's a shame, it's a waste. We just spoke about, though, the best player in the Premier League. I've seen Mendy crossing on the run as a fullback. That time, Fosu-Mensah, first time delivery, straight over the bar. Really disappointing. As you say, much better from Fulham, though, to get the ball into that man Mitrovic, and things do happen.
And it has got the crowd going. As ever, the Watford contingent, away to our right, in pretty vocal form as well. Quite a few of the fans, if they had seats in the front few rows, have just eased back because this rain is getting no better. There's no let-up whatsoever. Holebas involved with his weaker right foot nominally, pumps the ball back into the air. Seri controls it and heads it on midway inside the Fulham half. Fulham through Watford through Pereira, trying to make something happen, and in the end a crunching Fulham tackle from Fosu-Mensah. Perhaps a bit frustrated Fosu-Mensah from his moment of poor delivery moments ago. Took some frustration out on the ball.
Well, in contrast actually to Watford, who've normally got really good delivery from out wide. Their fullbacks, Holebas, Janmaat, although he had that poor one earlier, but normally is very reliable. Fosu-Mensah hasn't quite been at the same standard today.
Again, that's a position that has changed a fair bit for Fulham this season. Right back, we've talked about the changes in central defence and indeed at left back and in goal. Right back has been one that's been a bit of a revolving door. Here come Fulham again through Alexander Mitrovic, trying to make a nuisance of himself down the channel. Looked like he was going to be holding the ball up well up against 2 Watford opposite numbers, but again, slippery surface, and he falls at the critical moment.
Well, they had a good battle, Christian Kabasele and Alexander Mitrovic. And a real tussle here out wide. Just felt for a minute there Mitrovic had the better of him and maybe could have delivered the ball into the box.
Right in front of the Watford fans as well that Mitrovic slipped. They, as you can well imagine, very, very much enjoyed it. Net result, ball at his feet, isn't he? I know he's right at the end of his career in his second spell with the club, but quite a good signing to bring him back after the Baggies went down.
Absolutely. Look, he's keeping Gomez out of the side at the minute, so he's made one good stop already.
He's a more consistent keeper than Aurelio Gomez, isn't he, I feel? Will he be tested here, though? Fulham coming down the left-hand side through Sessegnon. Little cross shot from Ryan Sessegnon. Deflects off Will Hughes, who was back doing well. And it's safely back into the arms of the aforementioned Ben Foster.
Yeah, he could have delivered that a little bit earlier. Elected to take another touch and take his man on when really he had Mitrovic in the box.
Callum Chambers up against Andre Gray. Chambers lost out initially before then making the interception second time around. And Chambers, I wouldn't say struggling, but he's just not quite at his most confident at the moment, is he? You can see it.
Yeah, he's difficult. They're rattled. Look, they're a front two that would trouble any centre-half pairing, but especially these two today. Don't like the physical side, I don't feel, as much as others, Mawson and Chambers.
So Chambers concedes the free kick on the far side. Fans don't like it, but there was a little bit of a shove in there, I think, from Callum Chambers.
Well, they just have to be careful. How many times are they going to keep giving away set pieces, free kicks?
It's about the fifth now in the game already, isn't it? And it's from the far side, so rather than either Pereira or Holebas bending it in, this is going to be from the other side. It's going to be an intriguing kind of in-swinging delivery, which is one that Fulham haven't had to deal with too many times so far, but Watford get this one wrong and straight into the hands of Marcus Bettinelli.
Yeah, too close to Bettinelli that time from Holebas. Disappointing from him. He's normally really reliable on those set-piece situations.
Bettinelli also good with the ball at his feet. One of the reasons, of course, he was brought into the England squad by Gareth Southgate for the recent two matches in the Nations League and then the friendly against Switzerland. Bettinelli, one of four keepers in the fold at the moment, and one thing he does do is really play well and play out and build from the back. Haven't seen a huge amount of it in the game so far. What we have just seen, though, is Roberto Pereira upended in pretty unceremonious terms. Troy Deeney doesn't like it. He comes over and gives Alfie Mawson a bit of a shove. And Mawson, for the initial foul on Pereira, goes into the book. And I think you're spot on when you said that Mawson, I wouldn't say his head's gone, but it's not a million miles away. He is rattled, isn't he?
He is, yeah. He's cutting a frustrated figure at the minute. Deeney just give him a shove to say, oh, you know, cut that out, but he won't mind. Look, he's booked now. He's one away from being sent off, and he just needs to settle down here, Alfie Mawson. He knows he's had a difficult first half an hour.
Another player in and around the England squad in the build-up to the World Cup. Never quite happened for him. Swansea, of course, going down. And at Fulham, it's been a little bit of a rude awakening so far. Poor delivery this time. Watford's excellent set pieces of the first 20-odd minutes of this game have fallen apart a little bit. Bettinelli with a quick delivery, looking for Luciano Vietto's pace. And Watford read that one well and get the ball clear. Lovely turn from Gray, who manages to beat McDonald. The cross from Gray on the far side is just behind Troy Deeney. Will Hughes rushes in and can't quite get there as well, but Watford win the ball back. Come again through Will Hughes, who's up against Jean-Michel Seri. The two players tussling for the ball. Seri wins the free kick against Hughes, and the ironic jeers from the Fulham fans who feel that they've not had the rub of the green in the last few minutes.
Well, the superior strength here from Watford. That time it was Gray just rolling McDonald. Lovely little turn away, and then try to pick out Deeney in the box. The ball just fell behind him. They just need to see this out here, Fulham. They don't want to concede another one before half-time. Regroup at half-time, maybe get them in.
Ball over the top, very much offside. Mitrovic trying to, again, find some success down that right channel. And Fulham just a little bit mistimed in their attacking endeavour. Robin Michael Toms has tweeted in, good early morning from Brazil, where we're 4 hours behind you. I used to enjoy going to the cottage, the 2:20 bus to the Broadway, fish and chips, and at least the river is now a lot cleaner. It used to stink. I am showing my age. Robin Michael Toms, great to have you listening. I know you do on a regular basis from South America. At TalkSport Live, if you've got any Craven Cottage memories. I always remember I was at the game where they unveiled that ridiculous Michael Jackson statue, the one that looked like a glorified cake decoration, to a very mixed reception. That would be my prevailing memory.
Well, that river doesn't stink. I can give my sister a little bit of a mention here, because she's involved in a new super sewer that they're building under the Thames, so it won't stink anymore because of her, maybe.
Straight from the mouth of David Connolly there. The Connollys with varied family jobs, no question. Oh, another nasty challenge, and that was not good on Troy Deeney, I think it was, who's down. Deeney's down, holding his left leg. He's in a little bit of pain. Another Fulham player coming in. I think it was Fossa-Mensah, Timothy Fossa-Mensah. Just had lost the ball initially, lunging and stretching for it with his right foot, and it was not good.
No, he's a little bit late. I don't.
The reverse angle replay is even worse. That's not nice on Deeney at all.
I was going to say, I don't think it was cynical, more poorly timed, but actually it was high, right on the shin. And look, there've been a few signs, haven't they, today? Just like disciplined Fulham at times. Things haven't gone their way, so they're too readily making fouls and just need to settle down here. They look really rattled.
Troy Deeney's back up on his feet. Fossa-Mensah goes into the book. Yellow card in addition to Alfie Mawson for a similar clumsy, nasty challenge a few minutes ago. Watford attacking down the left-hand side. Another poor clearance again. Mawson was the man who could have smacked it into Rose Ed. He didn't. Watford reacts to the reverse of Pereira. Fossa-Mensah makes the interception. It's another Watford corner.
Well, look, Fossa-Mensah here, he goes to ground when he doesn't need to, but in open play, I think the Crown are getting onto him because he needs to get closer. He could cut balls out, for example, he'd get a little bit tighter to Pereira. He's not having a good game, Fossa-Mensah.
Another Watford corner. Jose Holebas will take it.
Well, he's got a bit more ground here. Look, because it's an outswing, he's actually taking it still on the grass of the pitch,
which might help his delivery. It's a good delivery this time. The ball flashes across the edge of the 6-yard box. Again, Mitrovic was back helping out his centre halves, and in the end a combination of Fulham players just about flashed the ball clear. Now Abdoulaye Doucouré picks it up for Watford. Lovely run from him to the edge of the box. Doucouré tries the shot to miss it. It is on target, but it barely trickles into the big gloves of Marcus Bettinelli. But Doucouré doing well there initially when he picked up the loose ball.
Yeah, super skill. I mean, he skipped around Schürrle fairly comfortably, but Schürrle's got no pace, has he? Doucouré, though, big, he's strong, he covers the ground, got really long legs, hasn't he? Strides.
So Fulham are back in possession, just trying to reassert their authority in this game. They've been on the back foot for large chunks. They had one brief purple patch where things clicked, but there's just no kind of cohesion in the interplay as they try to build from the back, is there? We just saw it again there. Come back to that point in a minute, because Fulham do get it right this time thanks to Mitrovic. Out wide to Sessegnon. Mitrovic screaming for the reverse ball. Sessegnon's first cross is blocked. His second is a good one to the far post, looking for Vieto. And well done. I think it was Pereira who got back and made the block. A combination of Holebas and Pereira get the ball clear. Doucouré is now in possession. Finally Fulham got it right. It was on the back of a very kind of languid moment where they seemed to be at 6s and 7s.
Well, the setback ball to McDonald was poor, put him under pressure, but in the end they got out well. Just looking at Sessegnon's deliveries, sometimes I think he selects the wrong sort of club, if you term it that, like in golfing parlance.
I can identify with that one, David.
Yeah, he tried to sort of dink it or chip it to the back post, a lofted one, which really Mitrovic, he doesn't need that. He needs it sort of drilled in so he can actually go and attack it. Sometimes he's gone low, sometimes he's taken a touch. It just hasn't quite made the right decision in those sort of areas today, Sessegnon.
Pereira dinks another one in with the correct choice of club, and then the through ball is also the correct choice of club. And has it led to a penalty? The answer is no. Watford's players are convinced that that should be a penalty. The decision in the end, though, is not. That was an intriguing moment, wasn't it? Will Hughes getting involved.
Oh, brilliant little ball from Gray. Takes a touch.
It's already going down. I think they're spot on with that. Oh, he was already just going down.
I'm not sure. I think he did take that away from Alfie Mawson. You can't go to ground there. Another rash decision. I think he was lucky. I think to me, he might have been going down, but he's gone to ground, Mawson. I think that should have been a pen.
I'm not sure. I can see what you mean in terms of the fact that it was the contact, but I think he's looking for the contact and he's already starting to fall, and it's the fact he's going down that then brings the Fulham player into play to then collide with him. I think personally you need the two things to be at least simultaneous.
I'm going to go with the attackers there and think that I think the defender shouldn't have gone to ground.
It's not a stinking decision.
No.
I think it's one you can argue both ways, but you've clearly seen them given. Will Hughes may be a little unlucky. Fulham perhaps running their luck, but no penalty is the decision. We stay at 1-0, and it's now Fulham back onto the attack. Vieto's been heavily involved. There's an appeal for a penalty at the other end. Mitrovic is convinced that he was fouled by Will Hughes, the man who could have won a penalty at the other end moments earlier. It's all happening at Craven Cottage as Fulham come forward on the far side. Andre Schürrle to Ryan Sessegnon. We've not seen a huge amount of those two combining in an attacking sense, and again there's no real inventiveness and forethought there either. Watford, for the second time of asking, managed to win the ball back. It's pretty ugly stuff. No one's really showing much poise as they put their foot on the ball, but Watford this time do have the chance to bring the ball back upfield. Penalty shout we'll discuss at the other end in a second, but Watford back onto the attack through Troy Deeney. Doucouré with the cross, early first time ball was a good one. Fulham just force it behind for another corner, with Gray again lurking with intent.
Well, no surprise the ball is coming from that wide area. As I say, the Fulham fullbacks play so high on the turnover.
It's not a bad shout, this, sorry to interrupt, Fulham penalty shout. It's Mitrovic trying to get the purchase on a header, and Hughes kind of clatters it.
Well, Hughes got round him knowing that he can't allow Mitrovic a free header. I'm not too sure there was much in that either. He was a bit clumsy, but I don't think it was a penalty. Should we call it even, Stephen?
Yes. I think arguably, personally, that was the better shout. I know you feel the opposite, so let's say right combination of calls out. 2 penalty shouts, neither given. 37 on the clock. Premier League Live. Fulham 0, Watford 1. Watford have another corner. I think it's their 7th, if I make it right, of the game already. Twisting and turning on the far side is Pereira, left-footed with a cross on the right flank, trying to wreak a little bit of havoc. Fulham failed to get the ball clear on the far side. Johansson getting stuck in. Hughes dispossesses him. It's Pereira again cutting in field on that stronger foot. Good sliding challenge this time. I think it was Sessegnon who got back and showed his defensive skills on that occasion. Watford for a moment looked like they might threaten. It was Ryan Sessegnon who made the tackle. 38 minutes played. Watford still a goal to the good, and really fancied his chances there, didn't he? Jose Holebas. The poor ball from Fulham, they give it away. Here come Watford again, clever through ball chance, maybe for a second. Marcus Bettinelli reacts to the danger, gets there ahead of the onrushing Troy Deeney. Again though, Watford trying to exploit the fact that Fulham's back line was pretty statuesque.
That's right, and because of the surface, they just might have to take a little bit off it on these through balls, because the rain has made the pitch really greasy, so the ball just travels a little bit further forward than you actually want. That time, look, if that was Gray getting on the end of that, he might have got it. Deeney, though, just maybe lacks that yard or two that Gray possesses.
Viette tried to thread one through from Fossamina's cross. It didn't work. Great through ball from Will Hughes. Gray is narrowly offside, and every time Fulham come forward, you just fear at the back that Watford will exploit it. Narrowly offside there, but Hughes and Gray really making Fulham pay big time.
Yeah, he just needs to hold his run there, Gray. He does have the pace, so just wait, time it perfectly. There's no reason to go early and give the linesman a decision.
Strong tackle from Seri, just to get there on this occasion just ahead of Etienne Capoue. 2 quality players who look to both get stuck in as they did on that occasion. Seri is the man who wins it for Fulham FC. Here they come down the far side. Callum Chambers is graceful and good on the ball. His right-footed through ball looking for Sessegnon. It's deflected by Watford and out for a throw. Midway inside Watford territory. This is a bit better from Fulham. Not seen the killer final passes yet, but a bit more poise, a bit more dedication to keeping hold of the ball. When it comes to fruition, it means that they get a corner off Craig Cathcart.
I just wonder what they'll do here, Fulham, just to try and work an opening. Again, they've got 2 out on the set piece, trying to drag 2 Watford players out. Both teams actually marking man for man with a few in the zones. You've got Mitrovic at one end, heading things clear. We're looking to get on the end of it this end.
6 corners for Watford, just to correct myself. 2 now for Fulham. Jean-Michel Seri is the man who's going to bend it in right-footed. Oh, it's a decent-looking delivery, and it was just over the head of 3 on-rushing Fulham attackers. Watford this time didn't really deal with it, and foot lower, that could have been some serious trouble. Yeah,
you just saw though the strength that Watford have. It's difficult for Fulham actually to win those aerial battles.
Joe Ely has sent in a beautiful tweet of a picture of some blue skies early morning in the state of Indiana, USA. Joe says, sorry about your gloomy weather, lads. Beautiful morning here in Indiana as I await City versus Cardiff. Thanks for the broadcast. Well, Joe, great to hear from you wherever you're listening around the world. Hopefully you've got nice weather and nice views. Send in your best pictures. We'll try and paint the picture of a couple of them over the course of the rest of the game. Welcome though back to the banks of the Thames in a rather drizzly and dreary weather here on this Saturday lunchtime UK time, where Watford are still a goal up at Fulham thanks to a very early strike, barely a minute and a half in from Andre Gray. And that continues to be the difference between the 2 teams. Is that a foul on Fulham? Luciano Vietto feels he was brought down. The referee having absolutely none of it. Vietto on loan from Atletico Madrid. Doesn't have any joy on that particular occasion. Does Troy Deeney have joy this time? He does, as he runs at Callum Chambers, and Chambers about 25 yards out blocks him.
That muscle again from Deeney. The ball just popped off Chambers. There he is, straight onto it. Deeney's a definite foul from Chambers. Again, another set piece out wide. You just wonder, will they make one of these pay?
6 fouls in the game already by Fulham to just 3 from Watford, and that just lack at times of discipline has been one of Fulham's major problems. As David Connolly said in our commentary before, they continue to give away free kicks in dangerous positions. This is back on the near stand side, so it could be another vicious outswinger from one of the left-footed Watford stars. They've got a couple, the former Pereira and Holebas, who love to wreak a bit of havoc, and it's those two players over the ball now. Holebas's delivery, and they've just kind of lost their range a bit because that was too close to Bettinelli. First 20 minutes they were causing all sorts of trouble with those kind of balls.
Yes, I mean, I don't know whether they're targeting Bettinelli in terms of like, let's put it close to him, but at the minute he's just putting it a yard
he's not
or two.
renowned as a flapper, is he?
No, he's not, but maybe, you know, they've seen something there, which is why they're trying to get it so close to him. But actually Holebas needs to take a yard or two off it, just give his attackers a chance to actually go and get on the end of it.
Bettinelli, of course, who, having been the keeper for much of the Championship season, was controversially dropped from the squad entirely at the start of this campaign. He is now back via the bench to starting, and we're only 6 games in, so quite a story and quite a journey already for Marcus Bettinelli this season. Fulham exchanged some fairly mediocre and uninspiring passes on the edge of the Watford penalty area. Watford get it clear. Fulham do eventually win it back just on halfway. It's all got a little bit scrappy in the last few minutes, hasn't it? The real quality and end-to-end thrust and drive of the game has died off a little bit. Vieto brought down again by Cathcart this time. And Cathcart right in front of the ref. That wasn't the smartest.
It wasn't, but I just wonder where he could have let this go here. It was a free kick from Cathcart, but actually from the sort of initial challenge, Schürrle was in. You just look at it here. Surrey then put Schürrle in, he's straight in behind at the back line. I think that's what Fulham are saying.
Mitrovic is screaming for advantage on the far side as well. Interesting spot from Dave Connolly. I think referee Martin Atkinson maybe should have played on there, and Fulham could have had a one-on-one with Schürrle bearing down on Ben Foster's goal. It wasn't to be. Fulham do have a free kick though, as the rain continues to tumble down. Welcome to West London if you're just joining us. Seri's free kick is a decent one, looking for Callum Chambers, who ghosted to the edge of the 6-yard box, and Chambers, amid a sea of green Watford shirts, saw it late, couldn't quite make contact.
It's a better ball, yeah, really good area. Janmaat taking no chances.
Yeah,
good end to the half of Fulham.
Went beyond Chambers, and Janmaat decided to head it behind, so Fulham do have their third corner of the game and their second in relatively quick succession. Minutes ago till half time. Seri with the delivery, and it's too close to Ben Foster, who's not the tallest keeper, but he had no problems there coming out and making sure he got a hold of that one. It remains Fulham 0, Watford 1. A few more signs of life from Fulham, I guess, as the half has progressed.
Yeah, look, Jokanovic, I don't think he'll be clouded too often let's just see this.
Now here come Watford looking for their second. Curling effort, and not a bad one from Roberto Pereira. Such a dangerous player, cutting in from the left on his right foot. Curling delivery, only about a yard wide.
Again though, looks another long ball. Mawson has done awful in the air, out-muscled by Deeney, goes to ground. Pereira, you think he's going to bend that into the far corner as he does so often.
Should say that Gray and Deeney wanted a cross rather than a shot. Both looked a little bit frustrated at Roberto Pereira that he went for the shot. It was close, it was a good run and good play, but again, did they choose the right option? I don't know.
Well, Pereira though, when he receives it, he's never going to deliver on the right. On the left, sorry, he's a right footer. He'll always look to cut in and maybe get his shot off.
At the other end, one or two groans from the Fulham faithful because Mitrovic tries to hold the ball up. Was he fouled? Was he not? Anyway, play went on, and at the other end, Fulham give away a free kick. So Watford arguably riding their luck at one end, straight down the other end of the field, and they get another opportunity to deliver one more dead ball between now and half-time. It's Chambers and Gray grappling for the ball. There wasn't a huge amount in that. Fulham might be unlucky on that occasion, I don't know. You're a striker though, you'll obviously say the opposite.
I will, and I just think that they look so rattled, Mawson, Chambers.
Particularly Mawson.
Yes, I mean, they haven't coped with these front two at all today.
One more Holebas delivery. We're into the one additional minute, and the ball's flicked on. Was there a little tug on a shirt on Kabasele? Another player goes down in the form of Andre Gray. It's all happening before half-time. Net result will be a Fulham ball. I think we've just got seconds of the half left.
Well, Kabasele's had 2 headers now. Arguably, he could have had 2 goals.
Actually, a little bit of a high boot from Gray. Nothing malicious. Caught Schürrle in the face. That's why there was the free kick. Kabasele with half an opportunity before. It really has been action-packed. The quality was great for the first part of the first half. That fell away a little bit. But both teams full of endeavour, giving it their all in the rain. It's been a really good example of Premier League football. Slavica Kanovic and Fulham with plenty of work to do. They're a goal down. Only one win so far this season. Watford looking to make it 5 from 6. Andre Gray's second minute strike the difference between the teams at the break. Fulham 0, Watford 1. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic strike!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
A line of bodies along the edge of the 6-yard box. Ericsson just rifles it in, and Harry Kane is there to head in almost on the goal line. More Premier League goals in a calendar year than any other player in history.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates. Ask in-game questions to our commentary team and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Edge of the box is Solanke. Through to Mo Salah! Who scores? Number 32! Mo Salah, the record breaker for Liverpool!
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live. Brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the Ultimate Football Fan Tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
The Premier League preview show with TalkSport.
Sanchez wants runners. There's 6 players on the edge of the area to aim for. One is Smalling! Unbelievable scenes at the Etihad Stadium. It's 3-2 to Manchester United.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
We are joined on the preview show to talk about what has happened at the top of the table in the last few days by our former Premier League winger, Matthew Etherington. Adrian Clark's with us. Chris Iwelumo, fresh from the gym.
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
Oxlade-Chamberlain goes down, but he still finds Salah! Who makes it 2 to Liverpool? One chance, one goal. Number 20 for the Egyptian magician.
Listen to the show on TalkSport.com.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Fulham against Watford from Craven Cottage. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, alongside the former West Ham, Watford and Leicester striker David Connolly. This is Premier League Live. It's the half-time show now, with Watford leading by a goal to 0. They struck early. It's been an eventful and entertaining game as the rain continues to teem down. Here's how it's all played out so far in West London. Watford try and create the first opportunity of the game. It's a little 1-2 and the ball falls, and the ball's already in the back of the net. Andre Gray with his third of the season gives Vieto. This is great football. Chance for the equaliser. Luciano Vieto, the rebound, it's tipped over. Oh, and it's just wide. Fulham so close to the equaliser. Corner is swung and it's a brilliant corner. How on earth did that not go in? It's a horrendous effort, a horrendous mistake, and somehow Watford don't double their advantage. What was Alfie Mawson thinking there? Fortunately, the Alfie Mawson show is a little bit of a horror show in this game, and I'm a big fan of Alfie Mawson. This is the worst I've ever seen him play by some considerable distance.
Yeah, he's having a nightmare. I don't think there's any other really way to dress it up. He hasn't coped with a physical battle that obviously Deeney and Gray provide, and any long ball, they haven't got the first header. They've fairly dealt with anything that's been put their way. Also, Chambers has been really suspect, and the whole back four that we spoke about it's much changed. I mean, they'd lost a lot of players on loan. Target, for example, Callas. We can go on and on and on. They brought in Marsan. They've got Le Marchand on the bench. Christie on the bench. Fussy Mensah's been disappointing. Sessegnon to me is not a fullback. So look, I think defensively, as we spoke, you can see why they've got the worst defensive record.
Apart from that, they're fine, basically.
Yeah, going forward, they look okay, but it's just when Watford get it, they're putting them under so much pressure, they just can't deal with it.
Just thinking about some of the options. So Ryan Fredericks was obviously Fulham's right back last season. Excellent. Ended up, for whatever reason, moving to West Ham. Bettinelli out and back in. Chambers, new contract at Arsenal, then suddenly here and trying to establish himself. Mawson we've discussed, Sessegnon we've discussed. It's a real dog's dinner, isn't it? And it's not like they're a batch of players, but for whatever reason, the balance is just wrong. And with Ream due back at some point, Maxime Lemachin on the bench, who's not brilliant with all due respect. I don't know how this is going to improve. Plus Adoy, who's not the tallest. How's this going to get back before the January window?
Well, look, I don't think they can change it too much. How they can change it, when you are Fulham and you've got the players that they've got, the way to change it is to dominate the ball. And Jokanovic knows that.
It's exactly what he said in the build-up, actually, in the media, isn't it? Exactly that point.
Right, well, sorry, I didn't know that. But, if they have the ball, then the opposition can't hurt them, which is why in a lot of their games they have dominated the ball. Now, against this Watford side, you can see that when they've got it, they don't really care. They're going to get it. Foster's going to get it. Yamat, they're just going to put it on the two centre-halves and go on then, you go and defend that. And that's where they've had success. I guess for Fulham, they just need to keep it away from say, certain Watford players who will then deliver the ball long and put them under pressure. They can't change it, as you say, because Adoy is, I don't know, he's probably my height, 5'9", 5'10". He can't come
my height as well.
Yeah, he's brilliant on the ball, but defensively, aerially, he's going to struggle. And Chambers and Mawson, look, Chambers is an expensive acquisition, albeit on loan, and so is Mawson. They should be able to handle the threat that Deeney and Gray provide, but they just can't.
Ream is taller and probably more dominating when he does come back, the American, but obviously he's not the quickest, so a fear there could be he could be maybe turned at top Premier League level, but maybe he is the answer. And also, don't forget Tom Kenny being out, he can just sit in front of them and add that little bit of nous and know-how. But talking about absent players is no real good to Fulham, is it? It's who's out there at the moment, who's on the bench, and can they somehow turn things around? We'll wait and see. Just quickly from Watford's point of view, more of the same. I think on the whole their game plan has been good. Maybe an improvement in the set-piece delivery from the second half of the first 45 is about the only real thing I could throw at them.
I'd agree, yes. Holebas, who's normally so deadly, I mean, he's a top assist maker, he's put far too many balls into the hands of the Watford goalkeeper, and you just think, look, Fulham goalkeeper, you just think if they get some of those right, they'll have a real chance. Up top, the front two, have been red hot, they just can't handle them, Fulham.
So don't forget, after this game, our next featured commentary among our 3 o'clock matches is Adam Bridge and Liam Lawrence all over Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers at Old Trafford. 8th versus 9th. Could be an intriguing one. Let's just remind you of the thoughts of the two managers heading into our second commentary game of the day. Was Nuno Espirito Santo on the back of Manchester United's special one. Jose Mourinho.
Nuno reached this Premier League level, and he reached by his own merit and credit. He didn't come direct to the Premier League, he came to the Championship. So he earned the right to be a Premier League manager, and fantastic work. The result speaks by itself.
It's not good or bad time, it's a time. I think the last results of Man United show the quality they have, 2 victories in Premier League, a victory in Champions League. It's a good team.
I think the team is more compact, is more solid. The spirit, the cooperation, the empathy, the communication, all of that improve in the team, and good results bring confidence, and I think we are improving as a team.
Another day, another new game. No game is the same. We don't care about the result. We care about how we're going to play, what we're going to try and do, who we're going to face. This is the important of the game.
Nuno Espirito Santo, the Wolves manager, on the back of Jose Mourinho of Manchester United. Man U Wolves, it's our second commentary game, and then Brighton against Tottenham. John Anderson and Clive Walker from 5:30 UK time, so just over 4 hours is our third commentary game of the day on Premier League Live. And a reminder, of course, you can catch all the goals as well from Burnley, Bournemouth, Cardiff City, Manchester City, Crystal Palace, Newcastle United, Leicester City, Huddersfield Town, and Liverpool, Southampton as well. Those are the rest of today's games. West Ham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Everton will complete the weekend with 2 more live commentaries tomorrow on Premier League Live. You've just been to say, David, very quickly, what tactical thought you've got with your manager's coat on?
Well, obviously if they can't handle the two forwards as two centre-halves, whether he'd bring Odoi on maybe and play three centre-halves. I'm not sure. It'd be a deviation away from the Jokanovic way, but it does have Sessegnon who can play as a wing-back and Fosu-Mensah. It might be someone like Johansson maybe who would drop out. I'm not sure he'll do that because he's very rigid. He likes the way he plays and I haven't seen him change that. But I just wonder if you can't handle two forwards with two centre-halves, you might need to drop another one in there.
Could be one way to go in the second half. We'll wait and see. David Connolly back alongside me, Russell Hargreaves, in a couple of minutes' time as we build up to second half commentary of the opening game of match week 6 in the Premier League. It's been full of penalty claims, fouls, lots of rain, and one very, very early goal scored by Andre Gray, his third of the season. Plenty of chances for both teams, just the one taken so far, but it's going to be a compelling second half in West London, we promise. Stay tuned. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Premier League football is a truly global game, and TalkSport is the global audio partner of the Barclays Premier League.
It's a massive goal!
With live commentary of all 380 matches this season, available at TalkSport.com in English, Spanish or Mandarin every weekend.
What a goal! What a fantastic sight!
The event horizon of world-class football. Visit TalkSport.com to find out more.
If you're outside the UK and Ireland, we've got you covered. TalkSport's international service covers every Premier League match live. Full commentary, pre- and post-match analysis, and goals as they go in from every single Premier League match.
A line of bodies along the edge of the 6-yard box. Ericsson just rifles it in, and Harry Kane is there to head in almost on the goal line. More Premier League goals in a calendar year than any other player in history.
Every game is covered. Get involved in debates, ask in-game questions to our commentary team, and get goal updates with @TalkSport Live on Twitter.
Edge of the box is Solanke. Through to Mo Salah! Who scores? Number 32! Mo Salah, the record breaker for Liverpool!
Kick-by-kick commentary, expert opinion, international coverage of the world's most exciting football league. Premier League Live. Brought to you by TalkSport Live.
Go to TalkSport.com and sign up now to play the free TalkSport Predictor game. Predict the results of the English Premier League games this season for the chance to win top-flight weekly prizes. From the Gunners getting away goals at Anfield to epic finishes at the Etihad. Click TalkSport.com/predictor and register now for the chance to go top of the table in the ultimate football fan tournament. The TalkSport English Premier League Predictor game. Available online and for free at TalkSport.com/predictor.
The Premier League Preview Show with TalkSport.
Sanchez wants runners. There's 6 players on the edge of the area to aim for. One is Smalling! Unbelievable scenes at the Etihad Stadium. It's 3-2 to Manchester United.
TalkSport's Premier League experts give their views ahead of the weekend's action.
We are joined on the preview show to talk about what has happened at the top of the table in the last few days by our former Premier League winger, Matthew Etherington. Adrian Clark's with us. Chris Iwelumo, fresh from the gym.
Subscribe to the podcast today at TalkSport.com and then hear every kick on Premier League Live.
Oxlade-Chamberlain goes down, but he still finds Salah! Who makes it 2 to Liverpool? One chance, one goal. Number 20 for the Egyptian magician.
Listen to the show on TalkSport.com.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Fulham against Watford from Craven Cottage. I'm your host, Russell Hargreaves, and alongside me is the former West Ham, Watford and Leicester striker David Connolly, and this is Premier League Live. Remember, keep your tweets coming in wherever you're listening around the world. We've had loads more coming over the last few minutes. Tom Godwin, great job, guys. My friend's a Chelsea fan. She heard you mention Schürrle a while ago. Suddenly her eyes lit up and she said, isn't that the former Chelsea star? So that's where he's been hiding. Yes, Tom, he has been hiding at Fulham in recent weeks. Before that, he was at Borussia Dortmund, and a couple of my mates who cover the Bundesliga said that he wasn't great, actually, at Dortmund. For a man with such quality, such pedigree, it hasn't really been happening. So he's there now. Will he deliver? He scored 2 goals this season, Andre Schürrle. Is this going to reignite a former brilliant player's maybe slightly stagnating career? I don't know. Now, more importantly, I guess, for now, David Connolly predicted we might see some changes from Fulham. Positionally, maybe. Personnel-wise, definitely. And we've got 2 half-time replacements. On do come the Belgian defender Dennis Odoi and the Togolese attacking striker Floyd Aiti. 2 new faces as we get the second half underway. That's an intriguing and perhaps not overdue development.
No, look, Mawson was awful, the worst we've seen him, as we spoke about, and I just wonder though whether they go to a 3. In the end, it's a like-for-like change with Odoi on, and we'll see how he gets on.
Now, having made those changes, Fulham trying to make something happen immediately in the second half. Lovely cross from Vieto, curling effort from the far side, which Watford deal with. Sliding tackle is a strong one from Odoi on Will Hughes. It was well timed, it was verging on being dangerous, but it was okay in front of the referee. And Odoi setting his stall out with a big statement of intent, the Fulham substitute. Strong tackle, trying to lead by example and maybe get his players to really kind of follow in his wake. Odoi for Mawson, confirmed as one of those 2 half-time subs. Lovely cross from Sessegnon, and Fulham already, just 55 seconds into the second half on Premier League Live, look like a different team already. Whipped cross in, which Watford again just about flashed clear with a glancing head. Already much more like it from the home team.
Yeah, well, I mean, what another player I was critical of, even from the first couple of minutes, was McDonald. It looks like he's the man that's made way. Aite's come on in his place. They're going to go with Seri just playing that holding midfield role. And to me, Fulham, they were just too ponderous in possession, going back too often, looking to build from the keeper. He's looking for
the only one of the midfield 3 that was really delivering. It's McDonald and Mawson who are the 2 players sacrificed. Here come Watford. Decore to Hughes in a bit of space. Fought for a second about a curling effort about 30 yards out. Instead, he goes back to his right back, Daryl Janmat, who plays a little 1-2 with Hughes, who's now hugging the near touchline. Lovely back heel from Hughes. That's put Janmat in space. His cross was well read in the end by Fossa-Mensah, who gets it half clear. Then he miscontrols it. Decore tries to run at goal. He miscontrols it. And in the end, Fulham get it back. Nice turn. First touch from Floyd Aiti. And in the end, he runs into a little bit of trouble, but no major harm done. Real dramatic couple of minutes there.
Yeah, Floyd Aiti, he's looking really lively though since he's come on. There he is again. He's picked up the tempo. He was just flagged offside here, but he's picked up the tempo really well. I think, to be honest, they've had a rocket. There's no doubt. At half-time, Jokanovic is a statement of intent, making 2 changes, and obviously the tempo they've come out at Fulham, he's obviously given them a blast in the dressing room. He knows that's not good enough. Opening 45, they're lucky. They could have been 2 or 3-0 down. As it is, 1-0, they're still in the game.
Odoi and Aiti, 2 players who were, again, important parts of the championship winning side. As, of course, was McDonald, who's been taken off. Also one of the new faces, but again, Odoi and Aiti have been there and they've got that feel-good feeling of what happened for the last 2/3 of last season. I know that that's probably been dented slightly by Fulham's fairly patchy start to life back in the top flight, but I think the crowd identify with players like that and they'll probably rise as a result, as well as the performance level early in the second half looking much more positive as well. Seri, nice little ball through. This is good stuff. Johansson seems to have brought his A game to the second half so far as well, as he slides a little slide rule delivery through, which Watford just about deal with, but already there's a bit more purpose and there's more space and more options, aren't there, for the home team?
Well, look, Odoi will look after the ball. He's excellent on the ball. As I say, though, he's only small. He's probably our height, 5'9", or centre forward sort of height. He's
5'10",
or 5'10" if you're lucky in heels. But
only on Tuesdays.
Yeah, but I just wonder though. I think the front two will fancy their chances against him aerially. That's for sure.
Here's Luciano Vieto, the Argentinian, Andres Schürrle, 2 wingers on the same flank at the moment. And Mitrovic! What a chance for Alexander Mitrovic. He should have put that one away, no question. 4 goals this season for the Serb. Great chance to make it 5, and he heads over the bar.
A magnificent ball in here from Schürrle this time. Hangs it up. Mitrovic gets above Cathcart, I think it is. He's hanging, hang time. Just can't direct it down. He's fancying though, good opportunity. Foster, look, he thought about it, then came, went back on his line, knew he wouldn't get there. We have seen him power those home, haven't we, previously?
In his defence, maybe it was a tiny bit too high to get proper purchase on the header and head it downwards. He was kind of heading up a little bit, but a man of his quality and finishing skills, you wonder whether he still could have maybe got it on target.
Well, look, I think he's one of those, the most adept in the air in the Premier League, so if he can't get it on target, I don't think many could, but still, it's a good opportunity.
Foul by Daryl Janmat on the near side, brings down Floyd Aiti, who certainly has brought a degree of purpose and intent already down this near side in the second half. Fulham trying to play the ball out from the back from the free kick, and Watford pressed them and put the Fulham backline under a bit of pressure, and as a result, Adoy overplays and gives the ball away. Here's Roberto Pereira. Jinks it through with his right foot. Better interception from Callum Chambers this time. He knocks it clear. It's picked up by Aiti, who's fouled by Janmaat. Again, twice in the space of a minute, and Daryl Janmaat's not happy.
I don't know what he's complaining about here, because he gets too tight, he's too rash, too keen. I mean, look, a free kick there for Fulham is not going to hurt Watford, so it's not the worst foul.
Free kick to Fulham, deep inside their own half. Chase Llewellyn listening to us saying, listening to you boys along with the TV pictures, top stuff. We appreciate that, Chase. It's Fulham trying to make something happen and head the ball on, but it's back to the left boot of Ben Foster. Raking, good delivery from Foster, chested down by Troy Deeney. The Hornets turning defence into attack very adeptly there.
It was like a shoulder pass, wasn't it?
Lovely.
Deeney, brilliant.
Andre Gray, the goal scorer. Back out to Pereira on the far side, cutting in with that right boot. Abdoulaye Doucouré just gets the ball caught under his feet slightly. Keeps hold of it though. Deeney flicks it on again. Not a bad move this from Watford until it eventually breaks down. One pass too many, one stretch too many. Fulham get it back, but then Fulham's touch is not great. Aiti on that occasion just miscontrolling. We're into a tiny bit of a scrappy patch again between both teams as they wrestle for ascendancy at this critical point, 6 minutes into the second half. Fulham 0, Watford 1, Premier League live. And here come Fulham through. Vieto tries one from distance and unleashed it, the young Argentinian. Not a bad strike.
Oh, it's terrible though to me. Look, he's 2v1 here. Vieto receives it. He's got Fosu Mensah on the outside who gets to run on Pereira. He couldn't handle him. Look, here he goes. He's just got to suck Holebas out and play Fosu Mensah in instead. He elects to shoot.
Caught it well, but as you say, the angle was not in his favour at all, was it?
It was never on. He's got to use the overlap there. Poor decision from Vieto.
Seen as a player at Atleti who has got quality but needs to maybe just kind of mature, and just perhaps this move to Fulham was seen as a way to polish him up, to get more game time and maybe start to make some more right decisions to go with his ability. We're clearly not quite there yet, I think we can safely say.
Well, look, his expensive signing did really well at Villarreal, scored a lot of goals. He's playing out wide here, so I think he might be better playing through the middle with somebody.
Interesting shout. Here come Watford once more, and it's Jose Holebas who created so much carnage early in the game with those in-swinging corners and free kicks. He tried to deliver that one early on the far side of Holebas. Didn't have too many men around him. Maybe he could have taken that one in a bit. I don't know.
Absolutely, but going back to Vieto, look, if you're a forward, when you get that opportunity, you want to get your shots off, but arguably he's not really, to me, playing in his favoured position or his right position.
Square pegs and round holes has been an issue 1 or 2 times for teams in the Premier League, of course, this season. As Fulham try and defend a long throw from Holebas from the far side. They do so well in the end. And Johansson is back, and Johansson who's having a much better second half after a poor first 45 for another of the club stalwarts, and a decision goes Fulham's way and the crowd really rise to that.
I think especially because it's Kabasele or Mitrovic. I think Mitrovic has got much.
It's changed, has he, so far?
No, that's right, and I think they feel he could have had maybe a foul or two so far. But it's a good response though from Fulham.
Tim Van Horn listening to us from Memphis, Tennessee. It's rainy, but that's fine. I'm on my gym treadmill listening. Good work. While you're doing your run, it's great that you've got us with you, and wherever you're listening around the world, let us know. Give us your thoughts on the game at TalkSport Live is the handle on social media, on Twitter. Send us your thoughts. Here come Fulham with 54 on the clock. Fulham 0, Watford 1. Ryan Sessegnon with his right foot this time. Not a bad delivery. Appeals for a handball, and there was certainly a hand that was outstretched there, but the ref was well placed.
Yeah, we'll have to see that one again. It looked like maybe Cathcart might have got a little nick on this to take it onto Holebas. No, it's Kabasele. No, it just came off his chest. Didn't see anything in that.
Yeah, it was the flick of the first player that just made the second have to twist and turn, but as David Connolly says, it was actually well controlled by Holebas. Now this is much better from Watford. Lovely touch from Troy Deeney to try and free Janmaat. Janmaat stays on his feet, no foul from Aiti. Cross comes in, it's cleared by Chambers, and Watford now down the other end and looking sharp.
Well, that time Aiti just out-muscled referee Martin Atkinson, saying no, I didn't see anything in that. I think there might have been a push from Janmaat on Aiti,
which would have been the third one in about 3 minutes if it had been.
That's right. The cross though was awful from Janmaat. Normally so reliable out wide. His deliveries have been off today, as have a lot of the players. Maybe it's the conditions, I don't know.
Yeah, Matt, 1-2 with Hughes, left-footed this time from the former Newcastle man, not his favoured foot, and let's be honest, it showed, because it was easily dealt with. Jean-Michel Seri with a fantastic first touch, his second finds Schürrle, it clips off Schürrle's heel inadvertently, but the move still continues. Luciano Vietto in field to Seri, a lofted cross this time, but it wasn't particularly well struck, it was just slightly mishit, and Ben Foster pretty easily got there.
Well, it's another example of crossing first time. As I said earlier, Bernard Mendy to me is the best in the Premier League at Man City. That time Seri, the ball rolled back to him, it's a first time delivery, it does test your skill level, and that was a really poor ball in.
If only Mendy hadn't had a whole season, and even at times this, blighted by injury, I think if he can ever get fully fit, we will see the best, as you say, of a fantastic player.
I mean, look, if any young fullback wants to watch how to cross the ball without taking a touch, you just got to see his clips. I mean, phenomenal. And it just when you're a forward, it gives you that extra split second. It means centre halves can't get set. You know, you can get a run on them. You look at Mitrovic, he wants the ball early. Every time you take a touch, you know, sometimes it just kills that opportunity.
Another free kick to Fulham for another niggly foul from Watford. Alan Chambers, who again is looking a bit more assured and assertive now that he's got a new defensive partner alongside him. He brought it forward. Johansson tried to jink it through. Watford deal with the danger, and Fulham are back to halfway. Chambers under pressure from Hughes, no problems on this occasion as he plays it back to his goalkeeper Marcus Bettinelli. Fulham just trying to make something happen. Chambers is shouting upfield, asking for movement from the midfielders and strikers. In the end, it's Vietto who tries to make a run. Chambers tries to find him, and Watford intercept, and then Hughes is fouled by Chambers.
Well, his decision making here, I mean, it's been woeful today. Chambers, along with Mawson, I think either of them arguably could have been hooked. That time Chambers was so late going in on Will Hughes. What was he doing?
Free kick again to Watford. They've had loads of these over the course of the game, and it's the Golden Boys fans and their gold, red and black who are making all the noise that you can hear behind us at the moment. They're having a proper good old shout at this current moment in time. Watford free kick from deep, it's bent in, really good powerful header from, I think it was Troy Deeney who got up there, it was, but it ended up falling to a Fulham shirt. It was Vietto who tried to counter-attack, and he's been upended in very unceremonious fashion. It's Holebas who goes into the book.
Yeah, just a sliding challenge here. It looked like he was going to recover back. I think it probably was a foul.
Trouble is, because it's so slippery, after he'd made the initial attempt at the tackle, he couldn't stop himself and then kind of continued to slide and catch him, which made it look worse.
Yeah, I'm just looking at one of the fans there, though. It's absolutely pouring down. He's still got his sunglasses on. It's ambitious, you know. Maybe the sun will come out again. We'll have to wait and see.
Talking of which, we said drop us a tweet from wherever you are. Robin Redshanks, if it makes you feel better, it was very sunny this morning in Rio das Ostras in Brazil, and he sent us a beautiful picture. It looks amazing, doesn't it? Golden sands, hills, trees, blue sea, lovely. From Brazil to West London, where we are. 58 on the clock, Fulham 0, Watford 1. We don't mind the rain, do we?
Well, we haven't got the sea, we've got the river and a little bit of sand. It's not golden though.
Certainly isn't. Here come Watford as they try and counter-attack again. Roberto Pereira, the other Argentinian in their contingent, to Deeney, to Hughes, and there was a call there. I'm not entirely sure what the confusion was, but Hughes seemed to be temporarily distracted. He lost possession, and now Fulham try to counter-attack. Here's Vietto down the middle, as David Connolly suggested, to perhaps bring the best out of him, and unfortunately there, almost spoilt for choice. He was caught in two minds and played a poor ball.
Yeah, made the wrong decision, but they've still picked it up with Fulham.
Yeah, falls back to Fulham once more. Early cross this time, looking for Mitrovic. It was Christian Kabasele who was back. His clearance was critical, and Holebas completes it right up to halfway. Watford did the dirty work early on, then lost it, and now they've won it back. Clever through ball from Abdoulaye Doucouré, looking for the goal scorer Gray, and that was brilliant football from Andre Gray. 12 yards out at a acute angle, managed to slide a shot in, and it was a powerful shot that was saved low to his right by Bettinelli.
Yeah, terrific little snapshot there on the run. All started with Deeney though, long ball up to him, out-muscled Odoi, as he will do, just enable Watford to get up the pitch.
59 got, Fulham 0, Watford 1, the second half just coming nicely to a boil. Fulham making those two half-time changes, bringing on Odoi and Aiti for Mawson and McDonald. They're definitely playing better, but Watford is still showing why they've set their stall out and taken the lead in this game as they did. Back on the second minute from Andre Gray.
Well, look, there aren't many teams in the Premier League that play two forwards or in a 4-4-2 fashion. In contrast that in La Liga, for example, a lot of teams are playing 4-4-2, but as it is at the minute. We've seen Tottenham do that, play a diamond or a 3-5-2, but Watford with the front two today, you can see the problems they've caused for them.
Almost a poor ball from Jan Maat there, who under no pressure decided to play a back pass to Ben Foster, which Mitrovic almost got onto. Then they dug out of danger with some beautiful football from Etienne Capoue, who found Gray. It was a player clear on the right-hand side, but Watford couldn't find him. The ball's given away, and now Fulham counter-attack once more. Lovely run from Sessegnon. Best we've seen of him with the ball at his feet. Takes two players out of the game, finds Mitrovic. Now in a little bit of space is Vietto, who lays it back. It's a cross shot, it could have gone anywhere. Oh, there's too many Fulham players there. No one knew who to shoot, no one knew what to do. And the chance goes half begging. They come again, Vietto. Fossa-Mensah's cross, Mitrovic is up there, and again he's missed. It's another header from Alexander Mitrovic, and he should have done better with. Over the bar, 6 yards out, and they stay behind to Fulham.
Well, again, though, they kept it alive. Fulham, Vietto with a great ball out wide to Fossa-Mensah. This time the delivery is right. It's hung up to the back post. Mitrovic gets up well. I think it does just come off the head of Jan Maat. They've got a corner.
I don't think it would have probably been on target anyway, but as you say, it clipped Jan Maat's head, so it is a corner, which Jean-Michel Seri takes. It's a good in-swinger, headed clear. I think it was Deeney who was back there helping out the strikers. It was excellent header clear from Troy Deeney. We've seen Mitrovic drop deep, and at the other end of the field, Deeney's done the same to help out his rear guard.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's nothing like having a player who's good in both boxes.
When you're trying to stem the tide, when you're ahead in the game and you're under pressure, it's a very useful little extra string to your bow as a team. Watford 64% possession in the second half to Watford's 36. That's a notable upturn from the first half as well, isn't it? The home team really trying to set out a bit more of a platform. It's about whether they convert that into a goal, obviously.
Yeah, look, there had to be a reaction, and there has been. Look, they're still in it. It's only 1-0.
Great touch though from Watford. Decore with a delightful 1-2, and Andre Gray was screaming for the ball, and Decore tried to kind of slide it through to him without breaking stride, but in the end kind of half trod on the ball, and the pass that would have put Gray clean through never got to it.
Oh, they're close though, aren't they? They're knocking on the door here, Watford, if they can just get this final ball right.
Good tackle from Will Hughes as well, who dispossesses Sessegnon. Jan Maat plays a 1-2 with Hughes, who's been really good in this game. Slender, slight, talented figure who's been sticking the boot in well. Jan Maat with a much better delivery this time. Adoy gets up there and puts it half clear. Shot from Holebas is blocked. Is there a foul this time on Kabasele? The answer is no. And Fulham counter-attack. Andre Schürrle, 3 white jerseys calling for the ball in the middle. One is Mitrovic. He chests it down, thinks about the shot. It's blocked by Etienne Capoue on the edge of the dig. And Foster pounces on the loose ball and smacks it to safety. You cannot take your eyes off this game. It is proper end-to-end stuff.
Yeah, it's enthralling. I mean, we thought that it might be a battle of two different sort of philosophies, really. You know, one heavily reliant on possession and being tight.
Jean-Michel Seri on the ball.
He's been good, hasn't he today, Seri? I mean, his delivery from set piece has been excellent, but he's always looked lively, getting on the ball, making Fulham tick.
I can't remember which famous man said, if you can keep your head when all those around you are losing yours, you will be a man, my son.
Yeah.
He's been that man, I think, a lot of this game.
He has. It's been excellent. Look, they haven't actually missed McDonald since he's gone off. He's just slotted in there really nicely in front of the back four.
That was, that's really annoying me now. It'll come to me randomly. It'll come to me later tonight when it's of no use. 63 on the clock, and Fulham are about to make their third substitution, and the Cameroon youngster Zambo Anguissa is going to be coming onto the field. I think he came on off the bench in their previous game against Man City as well, didn't he?
That's right, yeah.
Midfielder. He comes onto the field in 63 minutes as Slaviša Kanovic's third replacement already. All 3 subs drained in terms of the bench, and we've still got the best part of half an hour to play.
Yeah, it's just can they make it count, this position. When you are down, you know, you need to play with purpose. They've done that this second half. They didn't in the first half, and it's cost them, Fulham.
Throw from Daryl Jan Maat to Troy Deeney, who did well with 2 Fulham players around him. Will Hughes puts in the cross, blocked by Ryan Sessegnon. Second bite at the cherry for Hughes, left-footed in-swinger, but Callum Chambers heads clear this time. Did well there. Jan Maat, they picks up the loose ball midway still inside the Fulham half, and at the end the ball's overplayed. Half-hearted appeal for a foul from Watford. Fulham at least win it back.
Well, with the surface, you know, it looks like the rain has stopped a little bit here, but you know, it does put pressure on your touch. Will Hughes, not for the first time, his layoffs and his touch have just got away from the receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe is the one that makes way at some point, just to inject a bit of legs into this Watford side, because look, they are getting slightly overrun here at times.
I still think he's had a good game though. I do like the fact that he's got time on the ball and you feel something's going to happen, and Will Hughes wins the ball back as we speak to Troy Deeney. Great chance for a second, Deeney through on goal! Oh, and somehow Fulham keep it out. Two players tracking Deeney's run. It was the centre halves, Adoy and Chambers, and in the end they just about nicked the ball from under the big striker's feet at the critical moment.
Yeah, that time they just hassled and hurried, and Guisa just gave the ball away. He battled his way into the box there. I wonder though, he could have laid it off.
He's a serious handful, Troy Deeney. Talked about his problems last season where things just didn't really work under Walter Mazzari. They just didn't connect. With the new boss in Javier Grazia toward the end of last season, he's a man rejuvenated and he's back to being a proper talisman as the former Walsall boy. Troy Deeney, club captain, and a very, very proud man to be so. Deeney never lets you down when he's in this kind of mood, does he?
Well, look, that's why he's on the pitch. You know, I'd keep him on there. He can just take you up the field, be a platform. Must be a defender's worst nightmare facing Deeney.
Here's another Fulham corner though. They've nearly levelled the corner count out to 6-5 in Watford's favour. Seri right-footed. It's another decent-looking delivery, and Mitrovic is up there again. Appeals for a corner. It was a crowded box this time for Mitrovic to try and get his header away. Not a bad effort, but just didn't quite make its way through to goal.
Yeah, he did get a free header though. Just came off his shoulder or his arm. He didn't get a clean connection on it. Good ball in though.
Just didn't see it as early, did he, as the other chances?
Seri though, another. I mean, his deliveries have been magnificent. Such quality. I didn't quite know he possessed that, particularly from set pieces.
Robin Redshanks continues to tweet us in gorgeous pictures of the Praia de Centro beach in Brazil. Yeah, very nice, you get the picture. It's not quite the same here, but as we've heard from David Connolly, the rain has stopped to a degree. It's still a slippy surface, but perhaps for the final 25 minutes of this game on Premier League Live we'll be able to see an even better spectacle with the playing conditions just improving a bit. It remains Fulham 0, Watford 1, thanks to Andre Gray's early strike. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets on the balance of the game and how it's going to play out, and your thoughts on the managers and the tactics coming in. Remember, Watford would go joint top of the table for a few hours if they win this and make it 5 wins out of 6. So only their best ever start to a Premier League season. As Fulham trying to make something happen at the other end, Mitrovic brought the ball down, was preparing to pull the trigger. The flag is up against him, and Mitrovic is putting a frustrated figure. He's putting himself in the right places at least, but it's not falling from him at the moment. Marginally offside.
Yeah, just half a yard, but he pulled off Cathcart there. Janmaat just tried to get around him. Did enough though with the offside flag.
Had that flag not gone up, he was just rounding Kabasele to put his shot in, but it didn't quite work for him on this particular occasion.
I just wonder if Javier Grazia's got to look at doing something now. We're approaching, 68, 70 minutes, the final sort of quarter of the game. They're under relentless pressure here. They keep giving it away. Fulham's possession game is dominating. Maybe he needs to inject some legs or just a different idea.
Poor touch from Fossa-Mensah on the far side on that occasion, dispossessed by Roberto Pereira. Fulham win it back and lose it again. Good tackle this time from the new man, Zambo Anguissa. His first meaningful touch since coming on a couple of moments ago.
Well, they look so much better, Fulham, because they're dominating the ball. That's key to them. Then their back four aren't under pressure. This half, 70% possession, I think, for Fulham, around that. And that's why they've looked so much better, because they haven't had to face the same threat at the back.
Here is the same player, Anguissa, with an amazing little run. Beats 3 players. Wonderful opportunity. And it's Will Hughes who's back with an absolutely critical interception. Anguissa's run took out 2 players. He played it back as far as Vieto, who wide-eyed was going to try and poke it home, and Hughes did brilliantly to nick it away from him.
It's a terrific run. I think it's Fosu-Mensah actually gets to the byline, keeps it alive, cut back. It looked on a plate there for Vieto, but Will Hughes, as you say, terrific recovery.
Yeah, you're right, Anguissa had read that situation and played it to Fossa-Mensah, and Hughes' last contribution is that all-important tackle. Off he goes, but he's done well, but maybe, as you say, just tiring.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a manager which, got that hat on there looking at it, I thought maybe 5-10 minutes ago he could have been the one. As it is, I think it's the right call.
He's done 2 good things since, to his credit, though, hasn't he? But I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget, Will Hughes has had a couple of years on and off of injury issues, hasn't he? Which maybe have just taken 5 or 10% off his all-round match fitness. I don't know. Absolutely.
It looks like, though, I think it's Firmino that's come on.
It is the Spaniard, Nico Firmino, one of the longest serving players at Watford. if you can last a couple of seasons, you often get into that bracket, don't you? There's quite a revolving door with not just managers but players as well. What arguably actually has been possibly good for this Watford team is maybe less chopping and changing and less summer changes this time around than some previous seasons.
Absolutely. I just wonder though, Firmino to me is a right back or a wing back, but he's obviously going to play right midfield here because they've got Janmaat behind him.
Just steadying things up a little bit. Dangerous tactic to sit back, I don't know. We'll see. Ball forward from Bettinelli, run by Mitrovic on halfway. Seri with a very good ball. Little through ball with the outside of his boot from Vieto, trying to find Floyd Aiti, but it was overhit. Aiti was always going to struggle to control that one. And it trickles out of play for another goal kick for Ben Foster. And Watford, Mr. Distinctive, has tweeted in at TalkSport Live. Jokanovic not really convincing with this Fulham side so far. I feel his tactics are unproductive. And Callum Morris, listening from Toledo, Ohio in the USA. Let's hope Fulham can make a game of this one in the second half.
Well, they have, that's for sure.
Yeah. You're absolutely right there, Callum. We are seeing a bit more from Fulham, and we should say, of course, a lot of American supporters of Fulham because of Clint Dempsey, and we'll talk a little bit about Clint Dempsey in a moment because he's here at Craven Cottage today, and he retired recently, and a proper stalwart for Fulham. And there, funnily enough, he is on the big screen. They've just stuck him up. Clint Dempsey being honoured by the club today for everything he's brought to the table. Multiple cap USA international, time at Fulham, time at Spurs, back briefly at Fulham on loan as well at the end of his career. And he was loved, a part of that brilliant team under Roy Hodgson that almost won the Europa League all of those years ago and came in the top 8 or 10 in the Premier League. Clint Dempsey looking on, and he'll be happy with this move so far. What can Fulham do? Vieto infield to Seri. Here's Schürrle, thinks about the shot. The German international takes a deflection. The deflection in the end takes all the sting off the ball. And it's back to Foster, who makes an easy clearance. Callum Chambers with a good header this time up against Andre Gray. That clearance competed by Ryan Sessegnon. Fulham, they are looking a little bit sharper. Sessegnon again, back to halfway. Little 1-2 with Seri. Triangular passing that includes Samba Anguissa as well. Anguissa to Sessegnon, who's offering up the space, and his first touch though was poor, Ryan Sessegnon, and it just allowed Kiko Firmino, as you say, a right back by trade, to come back and nick the ball. He doesn't need 2 invites, does he?
And Anguissa did well though, good ball into Sessegnon, but because of the pitch it is greasy, it does put pressure on that touch. Just got away from him, but still on the corner. And look, you don't want to give him away with this man on the ball, Seri.
Seri with another good delivery. It's just about played clear by Troy Deeney, who's back helping out again. It's not properly cleared though. Callum Chambers spins and gets a shot away from about 15 yards out. Anguissa this time tries to bring it down to pop a volley back into the box, but the ball from a Fulham point of view just won't quite sit. And Watford get it up to halfway. Fulham starting to boss the game, but it's all a little bit frenetic because they've only got 17.5 minutes plus time added on here on Premier League Live to at least get something out of this game. It stays Fulham 0, Watford 1. Watford good value for their half-time lead. Andre Gray scoring early. All these changes from Fulham boss Slavisa Jokanovic have made the Cottagers a far more potent unit in the second half. Cathcart and Janmaat shackle him well.
We're just looking at Anguissa. He's made a really good impact since he's come on. He's bright, he's got good feet, he's massive as well. I know he had a couple of starts. I think he started against Brighton. He certainly played against Brighton and Spurs as well. I know they didn't win those games, but he's looked bright.
Clint Dempsey Day, did you play, I presume, against Clint a couple of times on and off?
Yeah, I mean, he was a terrific servant for America and in the Premier League, so he did get a warm reception, didn't he, at half-time?
Talented player, now having hung up his boots after all that time. I think it was with Seattle Sounders, if memory serves, in MLS. Janmaat wins it back and plays in the ball for Watford, ball over the top. Foster Mensah had to be very alert there because Roberto Pereira was closing in at a rate of knots on the far side. Foster Mensah, possibly with a call from his keeper, knew the best option there was to head the ball behind for a corner. And Watford, having been on the back foot for the last few minutes, have got a chance to maybe double their advantage with a corner on the far side from Holebas.
Yeah, better ball in this time from Janmaat. I just wonder, they need to change something here, Watford, because just under pressure the whole time.
Holebas left-footed as the rain returns, by the way. Just over 15 minutes to go. Premier League Live, Fulham 0, Watford 1. The rain has come back down, and we've got a pause in play because Ryan Sessegnon's taken a blow to the face, and he's got a seriously blooded nose, the youngster. And He's got quite a bit of blood coming down, and quite rightly they've just stopped play for a moment to make sure that he's okay. Rue Red has tweeted in saying, please Mitrovic, score for the sake of my fantasy league. Rue Red, I agree, because Mitrovic is in mine as well. Sports Governor, Watford need to double their lead and bury this game because Fulham are coming back hard. It's a fair point that you've got to try and make the most of it when you're in the ascendancy.
Well, they didn't do that in the first half, but obviously they definitely got a rocket there. Fulham at half time, they know they had to change something and come out stronger. They have. The two changes I think have helped, no doubt. Mawson was awful, he had a nightmare. Bedoya has come on and done well, but have they got enough? Have they got enough goals in their team, Fulham, I wonder?
Alvin Galvin, I think this game will end in a draw with Mitrovic equalising. That's Sammy from Accra. We shall see if that is the case or not. At TalkSport Live, keep your tweets coming in wherever you're listening around the world. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us in West London, where Fulham continue to trail Watford by 1-0 and Ryan Sessegnon continues to receive treatment. His white shirt very much now bloodied, without going into great gruesome detail. He's got a couple of bits of kind of white padding up his nose. I think he will continue, but he needs to be cleaned up a bit, doesn't he? He's gesticulating about an elbow, but I didn't see anything personally that was too untoward, and doesn't seem to have been too much of a reaction from any of the other players.
No, I just wonder, is it actually happened down the other end when Firmino defended him when he had that heavy touch? As it is now, they're down to 10 because they can't put a sub on while this is going on.
Well, of course, they've used all 3 subs anyway as well for Fulham, which could be an issue, down to 10 men. Roberto Pereira leaves this corner to Holebas. It's an in-swinger, looking for the big head of Deeney just over the Watford captain. And Vieto is the man who controls it, controlled it well. Potential counter-attack for Fulham, and Darian Mack saw that was on and came charging across the Dutchman with a very, very forceful challenge, a legal challenge, and the ball cannons all the way downfield for a Fulham goal kick, about 65 yards.
I just wonder though whether he could have actually slid in and just retained the ball. No need to kick it away. They have got a man advantage, use it.
He was a proper safety first job at this point in the game, wasn't it? Now here's Floyd Aiti. Fulham still down to 10 men as we await Sessegnon coming back on the field with a new shirt and perhaps a slightly repatched up nose. Jean-Michel Seri thought about the shot. In Sessegnon's absence, it's Vieto who's filled that space on the left, and Vieto, perhaps not his natural position there, cutting in and playing a poor ball with his right foot.
Well, we have seen that with Schürrle as well. I mean, whoever plays out on this left-hand side, they don't have a left foot, so they're always going to come inside. It means your left back's got to go on the outside, but at the minute, their left back's off the pitch. There's too many bodies in there. I think they need a bit of natural width for them.
If you're playing this kind of formation, I know we've said it once in the match already, but why not have a different left back and put Sessegnon as a natural, brilliant left footer as the attacking part of your midfield?
Yeah, I mean, Bedoya has played there at times last season, so he could have done that job. As it is, I think they needed him at the back.
Schürrle tries to get the shot away from the edge of the area. It's blocked. Much better play from Vieto. This time, cross shot, and it's finished by Aleksandar Mitrovic. Uncharacteristically, the big Serb has missed some chances in the game, but he's kept putting himself in the position, and Craven Cottage goes absolutely ballistic in front of the home fans. Mitrovic celebrates big time. It's his 5th of the season, and Fulham are back on level terms. 13 to go. Fulham 1, Watford 1.
Well, it's nothing less than they deserve, Fulham. They kept the ball alive here, keeping this Watford side under pressure, can't really get out. So sort of shot this block, they keep it alive. Vieto gets up, he's brave, look, keeps it in the box, great ball across, slide rule, and there's Mitrovic just using his sort of little toe, the outside of his foot, out muscles Kabasele, there he is, and just directs it into the far corner. It's nothing less than they deserve. I think they've been fantastic this second half, Fulham.
Kabasele beating the ground with his fist in absolute fury, partially I think at himself and partially at the situation, but Mitrovic, he's so powerful, he's so hungry, he's so hard to stop in that kind of situation.
Well look, he got the run on him, Kabasele, and that's why he's disappointed. He knows Mitrovic gambled there thinking, look, Vieto might get this, so I'm going to get across my man. But look, we said 10 minutes ago maybe Watford needed to change something, and they stuck with it. I just feel they've missed a trick here, Watford.
1-1. Hornets were looking like they might make it 5 wins from 6 to continue this record-breaking start for them to a Premier League season, and the picture is very, very much changing. Fulham don't get the free kick on this occasion, a high boot against a combination of Mitrovic and Vieto as they fight for the ball on this near stand side. And we are now about to see the second Watford replacement. Off will be coming Andre Gray, interestingly, the goal scorer, and on will come recent success. Big money signing a couple of seasons ago, young Nigerian, who, to put it mildly, did very little initially. just signs that maybe he's starting to fulfil a bit of the promise that was seen in him a couple of years ago. Success is onto the field. He's just immediately gone into the fray, gone down. Desperate appeals from the Watford fans for a foul by Callum Chambers on Success on the edge of the area, but in the end it's actually an offside and the decision goes Fulham's way.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's retained his place in the squad anyway. He scored against Reading in the Cup, so he might have a little bit of confidence. I just wonder he could have maybe made a change earlier. I'm not sure that's the one I would have made, but...
Well, he's talented. He's one of those kind of box of tricks that could be dreadful or could do one thing that's brilliant, and maybe that's what they're hoping, that it will be that kind of 1 in 5 moment from Isaac Success.
Well, you just want him to actually retain the ball. They're under so much pressure here. I just wonder whether, rather than staying with 2 up top, he might have played another midfielder trying to get a grip in that central area. They've just been overrun this second half.
Here come Fulham again, little back heel from Vieto, trying to find Jean-Michel Seri. The Cottagers really coming hard in this game now. They've won another throw as well. Kazambo Anguissa charges down the left-hand side. It's a good job there were 2 right-backs on the field for Watford, because it took a combination of Firmina and Janmaat between them to win that one back. Second time around, Watford do far better and win a throw of their own and now have a chance to clear their lines. 80 minutes and 30 seconds gone in Premier League Live. Fulham 1, Watford 1. Gray's early goal cancelled out by guess who? Alexandra Mitrovic. Really looking forward to seeing how the final few minutes of this game play out. Watford unbeaten in their past 4 meetings with Fulham, trying to get a 3rd straight win head to head. Looked as though they were going to do it. Had 22 attempts in this game, 13 from Fulham, 9 from Watford, 7 on target, 5 of which have been from the Hornets. So an intriguing contrast there, and those high numbers just show how incident-packed this game has been. We've had penalty appeals, injuries, poor moments at the back as well. Compelling watch for us, and hopefully listen for everybody out there on Premier League Live. Here's Andre Schürrle, far side, early cross, tries to at least win a corner, fails to do so. Decent block first time around from Jose Holebas. In the end, the ball trickles out of play for a goal kick. Fulham had failed to score in their last 3 games against Watford, including that infamous 5-0 loss to the same opposition here at the Cottage about 3.5 years ago. It's only the second season, David, that these 2 teams have been in the top flight together. That was 06-07. Both games were draws then. Are we heading for another draw now, or is there a little sting in the tail, I wonder, from one of these 2 teams?
Well, look, Fulham are in the ascendancy, that's for sure. And if they've got that man Mitrovic on the pitch, they've always got a chance of nicking another goal.
It's Watford on the attack, though, through Isaac's Success. Decent looking delivery, actually, and Dennis Adoy had to be quite alert at the back, and Adoy got it clear, and I've got to say Floyd Aiti's close control was poor there, because he had the chance to ease the pressure, and he didn't. Ball through from Watford, who unexpectedly, I guess from their point of view, have it back. Not for the first time. It's Pereira and Holebas who exchange passes down that left-hand side. And rather needlessly from Watford's point of view, they've strayed offside, and Deeney very frustrated on the near side about that.
Fulham fans and the players can't understand why that flag was so late. Pereira was offside a good few seconds before the referee actually blew. But look, there's Jukanovic. We'll be delighted with the response from his men. They've really stepped it up this second half. They had to. They were so poor in that first half. We said they're 1-0. They're still in it, despite being that bad.
And fair play to Alvin Galvin. We read that tweet out earlier. What did he say? About 2 minutes before it happened, Mitrovic will equalise. Fair play to you. You're spot on. Real Nana Kwame, Fulham building momentum. They have. They've got a goal. Will that momentum get them a win, I wonder? And Poir Larch has also tweeted in, loving the commentary, boys. Fulham now to get at least a point from the game. I think you're absolutely spot on. At least a point, but you never know. Watford are still showing a little bit themselves, and that's one of the reasons it's such an intriguing game. Yes, Fulham have come back far stronger in the second half, but it's not been all Fulham, has it? Watford have had to soak up a lot more. They've struggled a bit more, and all of a sudden Callum Chambers has got it horribly wrong. He treads on the ball. Oh, it could have been a one-on-one for Troy Deeney, and instead of bearing down on goal to shoot, he tried to play it across field to Isaac's Success, and the defender got in the way. Deeney surely should have had eyes for nothing other than goal there. What an opportunity for Watford. They come again, by the way, through Pereira. He's dispossessed for Sessegnon. and Fulham clear. What was Deeney thinking?
Oh, I don't know what he was doing there. Look, he's cleaning on goal. I know he doesn't have the pace, but still, he had enough of a lead there.
His success, just to cut him for a second, twisting and turning on the edge of the box, cross shot from Isaac's success. Two Fulham players trying to get back, two Watford players on the line, and Bettinelli makes the save at the expense of a corner.
Well, Success does well here, attacks down the line, good strike across goal. Bettinelli keeps out, but going back to this chance, there's Chambers, that takes too many touches. Deeney robs in, takes one touch away from him. Then he just, I don't know why he looked to find Success, just take another touch and go for goal.
It was Adoy who made the interception, but I don't think he was expecting it. I think he expected to be watching the ball poked into the net for potentially the winning goal. Horrendous mistake from Chambers. Great initial play from Deeney to win it. Awful decision though not to go for goal himself. Watford to end up with a corner from the Bettinelli save from the effort from Isaac's Success. It's taken short and then poked in from a slightly straighter angle. It's played half clear from Fulham as far as Roberto Pereira. His cross on this occasion from the far near side is poor. Fulham again get it half clear. Oh, blimey. I honestly thought as the striker ball down on goal, Deeney, that was just it. That was just no question. That was going to be the winning goal of the game.
Yeah,
I'm amazed.
He did look tired and a bit leggy. Maybe he felt Chambers was going to catch him up, which is why he released the ball too early. But to me, I would have just taken another touch, held him off with my strength, and got my strike off.
I was reading an article about Troy Deeney, which I'll come to in a moment, but we'll come back to Fulham for a second. Was that a foul on Schürrle? It may well have been, but there's an offside flag up, so it's irrelevant. But Andre Schürrle then wasn't too far away from getting himself into a golden position at the other end. It's still end-to-end.
It's been a really open game. It's been a very entertaining one as well. Both sides have played their part.
What I was going to quickly say is that Deeney, obviously in the dark period that he talked about in the Mazzari, had gone back to having a few drinks and said he put on more than a stone in weight, and he's gone back to training to the best of his ability, cut out the booze, and said it had really improved his fitness and his sharpness. And I just raised that point because if he is tired, that's all the more frustrating that he's tiring, having put all this work in, to not be in that position where he doesn't have the legs with 5 minutes to go in a game.
Yeah, the only thing is, look, he's put a lot of effort in. I think any player, his age, will be sort of a little bit leggy the final 15. I think that's understandable.
A little bit of nastiness there involving Zambo Aguisa, who was down and felt he'd been fouled. There were two Watford players coming over and putting their 2 pence worth into him, to the referee, and I think wisely Martin Atkinson lets everything just diffuse there, everything blow itself out, and we play on. No cards are brandished. 87 almost on the clock on Premier League Live. Fulham 1, Watford 1, and it's now Watford's turn to come forward once more. It's been breathless and end to end. Timothy Foster-Mensah tries an early delivery, well read by Christian Kabasele, who heads it clear. He's geeing up his troops and saying to his teammates to stick at it. Sebastian Amzobi, so happy that Mitrovic has scored. He's in my fantasy team as well. Loving the show from Lagos in Nigeria. Sebastian, we appreciate your time. At TalkSport Live, keep your final few tweets coming in for the final few minutes of this game. We've got 2 minutes and 45 seconds plus time added on for somebody to try and get a winner. Ray and Mitrovic the scorers, 1-1. It's been a really enjoyable match to set the stall out for match week 6 of the new Premier League season. Here comes Fulham again. Sessegnon in field to Vietto. Right-footed curling cross from Vietto, looking for Mitrovic just over his head, but not a bad idea at this stage to vary the delivery a little bit.
Yeah, look, he's a right footer playing on the left, always going to look to cut inside. It's a difficult ball, I think, to get right. It's a hard one for a forward as well. I think if he does cut in, you want him to be maybe 10 yards higher, so he's around the penalty area, 18-yard box. Maybe you could get a strike at goal.
Because you've got to time your run and also be looking over your shoulder at the same time, haven't you?
Exactly. And the defence can have a high line, so it's very difficult to get on the end of.
Up to see a further Watford sub, which would be their third. Kel Sema, the Swede, is going to be coming onto the field. We will see for who in a moment. I wonder whether it might be perhaps a Capu or a Decore who are tiring a little bit, but they've also put in serious shifts in this game so far, because it has been brutal at times in terms of its intensity and the work rate and fitness that's been demanded of so many players. Still, Fulham have the energy and time for another counter-attack. Vietto to Mitrovic. He's on the edge of the box rather than inside it. Oh, an absolute howitzer from Mitrovic, and it's well saved from Ben Foster, throwing himself to his right. He let loose in Mitrovic, and he nearly scored the winner.
Oh, magnificent strike from Mitrovic, cut in on his left-hand side. Good stop though from Foster, fairly comfortable.
Great effort from Mitrovic there. We've seen him as a centre forward close to goal, and now we've seen him from distance let one rip. Jean-Michel Seri with the resulting corner. It's a deeper corner this time, looking for Mitrovic. It's off the bar, and it's come back out into the field of play. Mitrovic again had to climb for it, much closer to the target, off the woodwork and out, with Watford players statuesque.
Another magnificent ball in from Seri. He's been superb today. He's hung it up to the back post. There's Mitrovic, as he has done all game really. He's had the run on Kabasele, gets above him, heads it down this time. It's a bit straight, comes central off the bar. He's unlucky though, look, he hangs up as he did in the first half. I would just wonder whether Foster got a slight touch on that.
If he did, it was a tiny, tiny touch, because it was still past him, but as you say, did it flick off a fingertip? And did that 2% of a deflection maybe force it onto the bar? It's a good shout.
I mean, look, when you have the service for him and you hang it up, he is just lethal. You can't stop him, Mitrovic.
Pereira, by the way, that is sacrificed for the new man, Kel Sema. That is the final change. So a more defensive-minded player brought on, and a more attacking wide man taken off. So that's two right-backs and another defensive midfielder all onto the field now as Watford try and shut up shop, and it's a tactic that doesn't appear to be serving them brilliantly. Isaac, success from distance, and we mentioned that he's a bit hit and miss. We saw the best of success a moment ago. That one, not so great.
Well, look, he's come on. I think he wants to impress. It wasn't the right decision shooting from that angle.
3 additional minutes, by the way, has just been signalled on the big screen, and that shot has smacked a poor lady in the face. She's being very brave about it, takes her glasses off. Dear, she's going to be okay, but I don't think when you're sitting 12, 14 rows back and about 8 seats wide of goal, you expect a shot to hit you, do you?
Well, I don't know. Maybe when success is in possession, or lack of, as you said, which is very mean.
But, dare I say from that moment, possibly not without foundation. Anyway, she's fine. That's the most important thing in success. Had a pop at goal. He was brilliant early with that super run, of course, that nearly led to a goal. Mitrovic just offside this time as he tries to put Christian Kabasele under a bit of pressure on the far side. And the clock is ticking down. We've had a minute and 20 of the 3 additional minutes. Are we now heading for a draw? Having Grazia is back off from the edge of his dugout to the technical area, trying to shout out a few final instructions to his Watford players. I think he'll be happy for them to just hold on and get a point, which could be their first draw of the season. Didi up there though, trying to find success with a flick on. And Adoy, not for the first time since he's come on, the tallest, as David Connolly said, but his reading of the game, his instinctive football, is crucial. Not for the first time Adoy knew where he needed to be to snuff out the danger.
Absolutely, he's been excellent. And that time he could have panicked, instead he headed it back to Bettinelli, enable Fulham to retain possession. Good play.
Fulham have got one more throw of the dice up front. We've got a minute to go. Belletti, little through ball. Jean-Michel Seri trying to find Ryan Sessegnon. Jan Mack claims that he played it back off the Fulham player and it should be a goal kick. The referee's assistant signals a corner. And that is the decision that the officials go with. 45 seconds of time added on. Jukanovic is off from the edge of his technical area, shouting some instructions. Can Fulham, with all of their big tall players forward, nick a late goal? Sessegnon's delivery, looking for Mitrovic. He heads it down. There's an appeal for a handball against Dini. It's not given. Is Mitrovic brought down? The answer's no. Little grapple on the far side. Yeah, and the Mitrovic gets the free kick against him, and Watford breathe a very, very big sigh of relief.
What I don't understand is why Sessegnon took that one. Seri's had really good success out on this side in terms of an in-swinging delivery. I don't quite know why they changed that.
Seri had taken a position just at the edge of the area, maybe trying to get the knockdown to fire it in with his crisp, clinical shots that he can do, but didn't quite work. And any second now the game will end. Just the one more sting in the tail. The answer is no. The full-time whistle goes from referee Martin Atkinson, and it's been absolutely great. Thoroughly enjoyed this. It's not always been ram-packed full of quality. We've had 2 cracking goals. Andre Gray early on for Watford, and late on the equaliser from Alexander Mitrovic, respectively their 3rd and 5th of the season already. Penalty claims, bad tackles, bad moments at the back, the rain tumbling down, fans getting stuck in with some great chanting. It's been a really good way to start match week 6 of the Premier League. Full time at Craven Cottage. Fulham 1, Watford 1. Watford try and create the first opportunity of the game. It's a little one too, and the ball falls, and the ball's already in the back of the net. Andre Gray with his third of the season gives Vieto. This is great football, chance for the equaliser. Luciano Vieto, the rebound, it's chipped over, oh, and it's just wide. Fulham so close to the equaliser. Corner is swung, and it's a brilliant corner. How on earth did that not go in? It's a horrendous effort, a horrendous mistake, and somehow Watford don't double their advantage. What was Alfie Mawson thinking there? Much better play from Vieto this time. Cross shot, and it's finished by Alexander Mitrovic. Uncharacteristically, the big serve has missed some chances in the game, but he's kept putting himself in the position, and Craven Cottage goes absolutely ballistic in front of the home fans, and all of a sudden Callum Chambers has got it horribly wrong. He treads on the ball. Oh, it could have been a one-on-one for Troy Deeney, and instead of bearing down on goal to shoot, he tried to play it across field to Isaac's success, and the defender got in the way. Deeney surely should have had eyes for nothing other than goal there. What an opportunity for Watford. To Mitrovic, who's on the edge of the box rather than inside it. Oh, an absolute howitzer from Mitrovic, and it's well saved from Ben Foster. To deeper corner this time, looking for Mitrovic. It's off the bar, and it's come back out into the field of play. Back into the field of play, that header came. Woodwork hit. Failed to say that in my list of all the reasons this was a good game as well. That was a little taster of some of the major action here on Premier League Live. Finishing one apiece between the teams. Dave Connolly, your overall thoughts on what we've just commentated on?
Well, I've written here, Taylor, two halves. I mean, Watford were magnificent in that first one. 1-0 up. Arguably could have been more. Fulham were woeful. Mawson had a nightmare, which